of losing is far greater than the fear of being hurt, and that means you've very much got to weigh up your opponents to see where they are, and you're wheel to wheel with these guys. They're in a strong situation, their car is running well, and you're both in a good position. At that point, it's like playing high-speed poker. All you can do is try and gauge the profile of your opponent right, and hope that you've come out in front of it.
Good evening everyone and welcome to the THR Racing League. It's finals night here for Class A in the Touring Car League. Live from Brands Hatch GP. My name is Ben Phelan and I'll be taking you through all the action tonight. 5 championships today, 4 of them titles still up for grabs. THR Racing League. As the drivers make their way out for the first qualifying session of the night, with a new sponsor, the Men Ginetta Junior Championship. Currently, as it stands, only 7 points separates the top 3 in this championship, with this man Jack leading on 153 points, just 3 points clear of Matahimovic in second place, with D Biggs 7 points behind in third. In fourth place then we have Iceman. He's made a few wins in the second half of the season to claw his way back in. He sits 26 points behind going into this race, so it is still possible for Iceman to claim the championship. However, he would need a lot of results to go his way in this race. A quick rundown through the rest of the field. We've got Keegs in 5th, Starscream in 6th, Rocket 7th, Rebby 8th, Aiden Hills 9th, KJ Argent 10th, Car Malicious 11th, Big Boy Brazier 12th, Suddy Apex in 13th, AMH Race in 14th, and Min Adam in 15th place. Still a lot of points picked up mid-pack as well, so all drivers will be out to gain as much points as they can in this race. As always, I welcome everyone here to the stream for tonight's action. A lot of interaction in the comments already. It's great to see you guys, and keep commenting throughout the stream. Let me know your predictions for this qualifying session. Who's going to take pole and who's going to take the win, and also the championship title as well, which is up for grabs this evening. So let's ride on board with Iceman as he comes up to Druids. Down to Graham Hill Bend now in third gear to keep the car nice and straight. Don't forget cold tyres for this qualifying session, and they'll all start on warm tyres then for the 15-minute race. Into Surtees now, long left-hander, important to get the power down early to get a good run out into Pilgrim's Drop. Trying to catch up on the car in front just to use the slipstream. I think that's D Biggs, third place in the championship. Up through Hawthorns now and into Westfield. This GP circuit, a very nice fast flowing circuit, very important to keep. Oh, and we've got a spinner in front. I think that's D Biggs. We've got a slow car in front too. Hopefully it doesn't affect. Oh, and he's hit Iceman. Unfortunate there. As you can see, the GP circuit nice and fast flowing, very narrow though, so overtaking is going to be tricky tonight as they come through Sterlings and onto clearways. Very narrow circuit. There's going to be overtaking chances, but it's going to be close, so expect some collisions tonight and a lot of close racing from these Class A drivers. Coming through Clark Curve then onto the Brabham Straight to complete a lap, and Iceman goes on pole with a 1:39.7, expected to be beaten by championship leader Jack 2.6 seconds after Iceman's incident. Second place man Matahimovic just 9 tenths behind in second place. Rebby coming through in fourth. 10 minutes qualifying session here at Brands Hatch GP, as it is quite a long circuit like we've seen in Snetterton. KJ Argent slotted into 15 seconds behind now, so he'll be looking to improve his time next time around. Just having a look at the comments. Good evening to Tintop Racing UK, our Renault Clio Cup sponsor. Hope you're looking forward to tonight's action. A lot of championships up for grabs, so it should be a really exciting evening. Good evening to Daniel Francis, TMLS from the Class B Racing. Also NJ, Neil J, welcome as well from Class B. Stephen Nicholson cheering on Suddy Apex. Matthew Duffin, aka Matahimovic, well done, good evening and good luck for tonight. And Michael Matthews, aka Peaceful Explosion from Class B, good evening to you as well, Michael. So championship leader Jack currently sits pole provisionally 9/10 clear of Matahimovic, with Iceman looking to improve his time after that incident on his first flying lap. Would expect an improvement here from the regular front runner, and he goes on to pole. 8/10 clear Jack, but can Jack beat it? He doesn't, so he stays second, 7/10 behind Matahimovic. Any improvement from him? An improvement brings him up to second ahead of Jack. Remember, there is a point for qualifying on pole here in every class, so every point counts for these guys, and Matahimovic will be happy to get onto the front row ahead of Jack. So we've got Keegs, Gary and D Big still yet to set a time. Only 10 competitors in the class this evening. Gary, of course, goes in. Our Class B front runner had a good show last night in the Class B events, leading a few of the championships going into the final round here next week. So he'll be using this for practice, getting a bit of as he spins it around there out of Druids. No damage on these cars, just visual as always. So Gary getting a bit of sneaky practice in ahead of his other competitors such as Tyler, NJ, myself, using all the practice he can to hopefully gain some titles next week. So with just over 3 minutes to go, Iceman leading by 6/10 from Matahimovic, and Jack in third, Rocket in fourth, with Gary fifth, Rebby sixth, KJ in seventh, Minadam eighth, Keegs and D Big still yet to set a time. Any improvement from Iceman this time round? No improvement, as we got looks like a Lagmobile. I can only guess that's Minadam. As Jack, any improvement? No improvement that time around. Here comes Matahimovic. So the Apex back into the pits, as we can see. Look, one car coming out. No improvement from Matahimovic either. Rocket in fourth, coming through Dingledale. Up to Sheen. Into Sterling now, onto Clearways. Oh, a big slide there into the tyre barrier. That'll affect his time. D-Biggs sets a time. So that was him going off in front of Iceman on the first lap. You can see the damage on the front of his car. As Rocket has entered the pits after that incident, so has he given up and will settle for fourth at the moment. So the Apex is disconnected from the lobby, so he won't be able to get back in time for this race by the looks of it. So you got a good Suddy Apex supporter group in the chat. Unfortunately, you won't get to see him race this one, guys. Iceman's gone to the pits as well. Matahimovic getting a bit sideways there through Dingledale. Iceman is giving up with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. This man Matahimovic is closest to him on 6/10 back, with Jack just right behind him on the track and on the grid positions in third. So see if these guys can improve on their times. Just a reminder, Jack leading the championship by 3 points from Matahimovic, and D-Biggs back in third. Jack running wide there in the final corner. Any improvement from Matahimovic? No improvement that time. What about Jack? No improvement either, so the top three stay the same. Here comes Rebby into Clark Curve. Very long sweeping corners here at Brands Hatch GP. Very important to keep the momentum up, especially in these slower cars, as you can get caught out very easy. No improvement from Rebby there, so he stays 7th. KJ Argent has retired to the pits in 8th place, and also Minadam in 10th. D-Biggs has gone up to 2nd place, so a good showing from him now, by 900ths of a second ahead of Matahimovic. Which demotes Jack to 4th place. So this will be a very interesting start. Don't forget, Matahimovic only 3 points behind Jack, and crucially ahead of him on the road. As the checker flag has come out for qualifying now. Let's see, can anyone improve on their final laps? Here comes Matahimovic, currently 6/10. Oh, and he's gone to the pits. And so is Jack as well, so they forfeit their lap. That means Iceman has provisional pole at the moment. Here comes D Biggs, got a bit of back marker traffic. That looks like Keegs running wide out of Clark. Any improvement from D Biggs? And D Biggs puts it on pole. A great showing from him. 0.05 of a second ahead of Iceman. Exactly what he needs to do. He's put himself ahead of Matahimovic and Jack with this title fight on the line. A great showing from him. That's one extra point for D Biggs, which brings him just to within 6 points of the championship lead going into this race. Well done to you, D Biggs. Congratulations. Iceman will be on the front row of the grid in second, Matahimovic third and Jack fourth. This will be an interesting first run into Paddock and Druids. Rocket in fifth, good showing from him. Gary in sixth, Rebby seventh, Keegs eighth, KJ in ninth, and Min Adam back in 10th. So this is going to be a great start to the first race, ladies and gentlemen. I have the championship points on offer beside me, so I'll try to keep you updated on the points as we go through this race. And we're racing for the first time here tonight. It looks like a good start from Iceman, a great start from Rocket there behind us. He goes up the inside of Matahimovic and Jack. So we're all safely through by the looks of it. The camera not focusing up on. So Iceman's leading from D Biggs in second, Matahimovic third. But now Rocket's got up to third from Matahimovic. Jack's dropped down to sixth, it looks like. So a good start from Iceman and D Biggs. The top three in the championship will be very wary of the first lap. Make sure to stay out of any incidents. As Iceman leads through 30s onto Pilgrim's Drop for the first time. Apologies for the camera action there at the start. It's just not focusing on the leading group through Paddock. Hopefully will fix itself as they spread out a little bit. Meanwhile, back behind, it looks like Matahimovic has got back up past Rocket. Oh, and D Biggs has spun. D Biggs has gone off. That could be the end of his title hopes. Demoted to the back of the grid, or in ninth actually. Here comes Min Adam. Is he going to get past him in his leg? Oh, it looks like he's spun off there with D Biggs, but it's Iceman now has a lead up front. Matahimovic promoted to second. That's all he needs at the moment. So unfortunate for D Biggs there after that great start, getting that extra point for going on pole as well, and that'll be a sigh of relief for Matahimovic and Jack in fourth. So after one lap completed, it's Iceman leading from Matahimovic in second. Keegs, a great start from him up to third with Jack in fourth. Gary up to fifth with Rebby sixth. Oh, as Keegs runs wide and Jack runs wide too. There could be definitely a slowdown penalty for Keegs anyway. Not sure about Jack. Remember, getting all four wheels onto that white line is going to give you a slowdown warning. Oh, and Gary's tagged Jack. Oh, backs out of it. That's clever from Gary. Gary doesn't want to get involved in any championship battles here as a Class B driver. He's just enjoying being involved in the lobby. Almost game over for Jack there. I'm sure his heart is in his mouth, as Gary now has Rebby all over him as they come down onto Pilgrim's Drop for the second time tonight. But it's Iceman out front by 3 seconds from Matahimovic. Keegs in third, and Rebby has got past Gary now for 5th place. Good for D Biggs after a brilliant qualifying, says Tintop Racing K. Definitely Tintop, it's not the way we want to see him go out. Just looked like he lost control there through Hawthorns for the first time. As Jack now gets past Keegs, looks like Keegs has a slowdown. He's allowed Gary through as well, so Jack now up to 3rd place. Matahimovic won't want to see that, but he's got a nice gap to Jack, so hopefully he can get his head down and maybe close the gap to Iceman up front, as we've completed 2 laps, just under 12 minutes to go here. Currently, as it stands then, Iceman will take 35 points for the victory. 30 points will go the way of Matahimovic, which will put him on 180. Jack will take 26, which will put him on excuse my maths here, 26, 179, so there'll be just 1 point in it in favour of Matahimovic if the positions stay the way they are at the moment. As the field begins to string out a little bit on this GP circuit, only 10 cars on track tonight. Matahimovic still leading, a lovely gap from Matahimovic. With Jack now, Gary all over his tail. Will he just keep with Jack and try to catch up on the lead, or will he try to make a move? Time will tell now as they come up into Sheen and through Sterling for the third time tonight. Keegs just right behind these two as well. Had a great start, Keegs, but a few slowdown penalties has demoted him back to 5th place. Rebby in 6th. Rocket had a great start as well, up to 3rd at one stage through paddock. Just dropped back, unfortunately. Deep Big's on a recovery drive now. Only going to score 14 points, so it won't really matter. He'll still... Iceman could actually take him, but depending on where he finishes, but at the moment won't be able to do anything about Jack and Matahimovic in the championship. Gary just running with Jack now. Sensible from him. He knows better than to tamper with Jack's championship hopes. I'd be interested to see if the drivers have done their homework on the point system. Are they wary of the situation on track at the moment? Meanwhile, behind, Rocket closing in on Rebby as they head down Pilgrim's Drop. Daniel Francis, aka TMLS, in the chat. Where's Alan Gow with a safety car when you need him? Definitely would like to see the field bunched up again. Daniel for a real good close race. Tin Top Racing UK in the chat. Iceman been on a junior charge lately, winning the last 3 races. Definitely damage limitations at the start of the season for Iceman, and he definitely has proved himself in this championship over the last 3 rounds, and he looks to be set for another race victory here tonight in the finale of the Prestige Men Ginetta Junior Championship. Just on a side note as well, I happened to be reading sim racing website GT Planet before coming on here this evening, in which they announced that a British Touring Car Championship game is coming in 2021 to exceed the original TOCA game. So that's some great news for all these drivers who followed BTCC, and this was leaked by Halford Tuasa driver Matt Neal on his Instagram. He was answering some questions on an Instagram live, and a question about a potential game was posed, in which he said, "There's one in the making. We are reliably informed the beta version might come out at the end of this year, and I think it's targeted for the end of 2021. It won't be one where, you know, BTCC is an add-on to someone else's game. This is going to be one where it's a dedicated BTCC game like the old TOCA package." So that's pretty exciting. It definitely is exciting, and one we look forward to as we see Gary running wide there. We've lost Keegs as well. He's dropped back into 5th as I was reading out that quote from Matt Neal. No position changes so far, but definitely an exciting time for sim racers who love the BTCC. Oh, and Gary's lost it. Gary spun coming out of Sheen, and that's giving Jack some breathing space now. Will he be able to get going again before Keegs? He won't be able to join now. He's going to drop right down behind D Biggs by the look of it. So that's unfortunate for Gary, who's having a good run. Neil J in the chat, sounds good, need another TOCA game. Tin Top Racing UK, Gow is now confirmed it is definitely in the making now. Yeah, definitely. a lot of people will remember the original Toka games, followed by Toka Race Driver 2 and 3, each with developments, much bigger improvements for each game, and definitely one we've been waiting for a long time now. And a big kudos to Dan Camish, who we believe posed the question to Codemasters at the start of this season, would it be interested in making the game. So we'll be definitely delighted to see that coming in the future. But right now it's back to Project Cars 2 and the THR Racing League Class A. This man here, Jack, leading the championship coming into the round, but it's this man Matahimovic who's ahead of him on the road in second place. Live points would mean Matahimovic will be on 180 points and Jack on 179. Now, depending on fastest laps, Jack could take an additional point, as so could Matahimovic. But it looks like Iceman, with a 7-second lead, would be fastest on track at the moment, so he could take the extra point for fastest lap. Oh, as we have a car. Oh, car's off, and Iceman just avoiding it. That looked like Min Adam. Lucky for Iceman there, just avoiding the back marker. Has a big enough gap that he was able to slow down. Will Matahimovic be able to make it through? We've got a bonnet there lying on the exit of the Clark curve. Min Adam there, very laggy, as you can see. Looks to have spun there. Hopefully the drivers aren't seeing what we're seeing and could cause a danger to them. As D Biggs has got himself up to 5th, so good driving from D Biggs. Got ahead of Rebby there and Rocket, and now he's chasing down Keegs, so trying to come on a recovery drive. We've still got under 5 minutes left, all still to play for. Never give up attitude, never say die from D Biggs here, as he looks to make a move on Keegs now as they come down Graham Hill Straight into Graham Hill Bend. Tintop Racing UK in the chat, we interviewed Gow last year and he said there were talks back then, so been in the pipeline a while. It definitely has been Tintop Racing UK. And of course, if it's a Toka package, well, it depends actually. If it's a Toka package, we'll have the Clios in it, as they're being replaced by the Minis for this season, as we all know. So it'd be unfortunate now if the Clios, who've been such a big part of the Toka package for so long, weren't involved in the game. We'll have to wait and see. As D Biggs all over the back of Keegs now as they come through Dingledale up to Sheens. Min Adam is disconnected from the session there, probably better off for him. Could cause harm to the other drivers on track. Min Adam needs to leave, that puts drivers off. Can he even drive like that, says Neil J. Yeah, it's very hard, not too sure, Neil. Sometimes he could be seeing everything perfectly, but everyone else around him on other consoles is the one seeing the lags. He might think it's perfectly fine, but looks like he's been disconnected anyway. Good evening to Alexander van der Vood, aka Alexander van der Dander. Hope you're doing well over in the Netherlands. Thanks for joining in. As D Biggs looks to the inside of Keegs, gets squeezed onto the grass, but he's made that move work. As Keegs is going to look back the inside of him. Oh, and he's squeezing him onto the grass. That's very cheeky from Keegs there. But D Biggs is going to have the inside line. Pushes Keegs wide. Bit of door up in there. You take that, says Keegs, and you take that back, says D Biggs. And now Keegs has Rocket all over him. Let's come up to Hawthorns. It's interesting to note actually Gary's been disconnected from the session as well amidst all this. So we've lost 2 drivers now, Min Adam and Gary out of the session. Gary, after that spin out of Sheen, looks to have just retired, as he's probably too far back to make any positions up. So great drive from D Biggs now, he's up to 4th, but his 2 championship rivals Matahimovic and Jack are ahead of him on the road, so won't be any positions gained in the championship for him. As I mentioned, currently Matahimovic will be on 180 points from Jack in second on 179, so just 1 point between them. Can Can one of them grab that fastest lap point? But it's this man, Iceman, 9 seconds clear. On lap 9, just a minute and a half left. We will get one more lap in. As he comes to a back marker, it looks like KJ Argent up the road. Quiet race from KJ Argent as Iceman flashes the lights to let him know. Struggling for pace at the moment. Hopefully he can pick it up for the THR Racing UK Renault Clio Cup. Jack slowly closing in on Matahimovic here, ever so slightly, but I don't know if there's any time left. We've got a minute left to go, unless Matahimovic is forced into a mistake. It looks like he could have the championship. THR Racing UK, I would advise that you don't say anything at this moment with your luck of jinxing people. But Jack does need that lap, you are right. I don't think it's going to go down to that, but I'm not too sure of the tie-break rule. I presume it'll go and count back to wins if it happened to be a tie in the championship. Just looking at the championship points there, neither of these drivers have actually won a race, Jack or Matahimovic. A couple of seconds for both, but none of them have taken that 35 points. AMH has won a round, Aiden Hills won a round, Carmelicious won a round, and then Iceman with the last 3 rounds, about to make it 4 as we're on the final lap of this race. As Jack is right up the back of Matahimovic now, maybe the nerves are starting to creep in. Is Jack run wide? That could be a slowdown for him. That could be his title championship over. He was getting close there with a half a lap to go. Could he have made a move? We're going to flick between drivers now. Oh, and it looks like we have a back marker ahead of us now. Let's just spun. Hopefully this doesn't play as Jack's right up on. Congratulations, Iceman, for your race victory. But we're going to have to stay with this as KJ Argent is on the inside and Jack's all over the back of Matahimovic. So this could be for the championship. They're side by side. Matahimovic is defensive into Clark Kerr for the final time. Checker flag is out. Matahimovic holds on to it, and it looks like Matahimovic with the flashlights is going to take the championship. Congratulations, Matahimovic. Second place on the road. Jack in third. 1 point between them. 180 points for Matahimovic, 179 for Jack, based on my calculations. I hope I'm not wrong. Matahimovic, you are the Prestige Man Ginetta Junior champion for 2020. Congratulations. Unfortunately, we couldn't see this man cross the line. Iceman, congratulations on your victory. 4 in a row, an incredible achievement for you. Championship winner Matahimovic in second place, with Jack in third. Unfortunately, Jack, you tried your best. A fantastic championship, with only 1 point between us. D Biggs in fourth. Think he will hold on to third in the championship, with Iceman in fourth. Then on the road, Rebby fifth, Keeg sixth, Rocket 7, KJ Argent 8th, Gary 9th after that retirement, and Min Adam in 10th with a disconnection. So as I have a look in the chat, well done Matt, 1 down, says Daniel Francis. Yeah, congratulations Matthew Duffin. If my points have served me correctly, you are the champion for this year. By 1 point, as we mentioned. Dominant drive, Iceman from THR Racing UK. Definitely Iceman, well done. As we said, 4 wins on the trot. My god, I can't believe it, says Matahimovic. Well done Iceman. Wow, I had to close my eyes on that corner. Thought it was going to go wrong for both of them, says Neil J. Definitely. Oh, and well done, I must say, Massive kudos to KJ Argent for staying out of the way there. He knows the battle that is in hand between them two drivers, so well done for the back markers for obeying the blue flags. Excellent recovery drive from D Biggs in fourth, of course. Well done, D Biggs, you tried your best. So unfortunate after taking pole position and really putting the fight to the others. Unfortunately spun out at Hawthorns. Good evening, Paul Morgan, Shane Burke. Is Jimmy Broadbent racing here? I don't think so. He's not good enough for this type of racing, unfortunately. What a race that was. What a final lap as well. Right down to the final corner of the final race of the Prestige Man Ginetta Junior Championship, to separate Matahimovic from Jack by just 1 point in the end. So congratulations to Matahimovic. Well deserved, and well deserved Jack in second place. As now we move on to the second race of our night, the Tin Top Racing UK Renault Clio Cup. Just to add as well, we'll have 6 races tonight. We have 2 races in touring cars, the Indy circuit first and then the GP circuit. As I mentioned last week, the Indy circuit race had to be postponed due to an error in the server, so that race will be replayed tonight. So make sure to stay tuned in, guys. 6 races tonight instead of 5 to end this Class A finale of the season. So as we move on to the Tin Top Racing UK Renault Clio Cup, a quick look down through the championship standings. It's your previous race winner, Iceman, leading this one by 9 points from Matahimovic in second place. Jack back in third on 14 points behind. And then it's a gap to Suddy Apex in fourth, D-Biggs fifth, Big Boy Brazier sixth, Keeg seventh, Aiden Hills eighth, Carmelicious ninth, KJ Argent 10th, Rocket 11th, Starscream 12th, Min Adam 13th, Rebby 14th, and AMH in 15th. 10-minute qualifying session on the GP track as mentioned. Get your predictions in the chat, guys. Who's going to take pole in this one? Who's going to take the race win? And more importantly, who's going to take the Tin Top Racing UK Renault Clio Cup Championship for 2020? As mentioned before as well, Tin Top Racing UK are donating a trophy and a cap to the winners of both the Class A and Class B of this championship. So thanks very much to you guys for that. Really appreciate it, and it gives the guys something to race for. Quite a big fan club for Suddy Apex in the chat. So we're going to ride on board for a lap of the Brands Hatch GP circuit in the Tin Top Racing UK Renault Clio Cup. As they come down the Brabham Straight into 5th gear as they approach Paddock Hill, on the brakes over the crest, try to keep the car turned in on the apex of the curb. Try not to go too wide there. Very easy to get a slowdown penalty on the exit of Paddock there. As you go under the bridge up to Druids, braking, using the bridge as your braking point. Down to second, nice and early on the power to get these cars turned. And down into Graham Hillbound, down to third, nice and tight to the curb, getting a little bit wide there on the exit. That can also bring a slowdown penalty if you're not careful. Into Surtees down a couple of different lines through here. So the Apex chooses for the nice tight line with a good clean exit. Very important as this straight is extremely long to get a good run. Into Hawthorns there on the brakes. Car getting a little sideways. Don't forget cold tyres in this qualifying session. Stays in 5th for Sully just to keep the car nice and straight. Into Westfield then down to 4th. Again, try not to run too wide there, can unsettle a car like that, and also slowdown penalties a big factor around here. Up through Dingledale and into Sheens, down to 4th, getting right in on that curb. A very narrow track, as you can see it from this onboard. Again, going to bring even closer action in these Clios, as we've seen all season long. Down clearways then and into Clark Curve. Important to get a really good exit onto the start finish straight here, as Sutty does. Jack on provisional pole at 1:46.2. Can Sutty improve on that? He does indeed, with a 1:38.9, goes 7 seconds clear of Jack, but Iceman takes pole. Puts down a statement from the championship leader, 1.7 seconds clear of Sutty in 3rd. Here comes a few of the others. Keegs crossing the line together, so Matejimovic into 4th with Rebby 5th. Keegs going very slow on the start finish straight by the looks of it there. Gary still to set time, so is Rocket and KJ Argent. KJ Argent going very slow by the looks of it. Oh no, he goes 7th, apologies, so it's Keegs that's going pretty slow there. Keegs has now gone to the pits. Here comes Gary, very quick in the Clios, as we know. Let's see if he can set a decent time here. Having a look at the chat there. Tintop Racing K, and now the Clios. Get your breath back, guys, you'll need it again. Definitely, it's going to be a very close race here. Just reiterating the points there from Tintop Racing K. Iceman on 119, 9 points to Matejimovic, and 14 back to Jack in 3rd. I've banned myself from predictions, says Tintop Racing UK. Yeah, maybe it's the best, Tintop, but we'd love to hear your predictions as well. Maybe it's just too close that you're not able to predict. No time for Gary there, so it looks like he got invalidated lap. As we see Jack coming through now. Iceman for the pole, Iceman for the win in championship. Matejimovic 2nd, Jack 3rd, says Neil J. Daniel Francis, Matejimovic fans here too. Gone off Gary as he hit me last night with a winky face. Mark Phelan says Matejimovic, Jack, Iceman, then reverse for the result. At the moment it's still Iceman on pole, flashing the lights there at KJ Argent in front. D Biggs puts it on 2nd place, 3/10 off, so good showing from him, getting sideways through paddock there. Sutty for the win, says David Gray. Neil J agreeing, also Stephen Nicholson, so a big Sutty fan club here. Dog sounds good on commentary there, Ben. Apologies for the dog barking. I can't control that. Between dogs and kids interrupting commentators both nights. Who needs a wheel, says Stephen Nicholson. Definitely, Sutty Apex running on the controller, as we mentioned before. There's a variation between people using wheels and controllers. So well done, Sutty, for putting down a good pace on the controller. So just 3 minutes left. Iceman leads this one from D Biggs in 2nd. Gary's in 3rd, so Gary's put in a decent lap, just half a second off Iceman. Jack back in 4th, Sutty 5th. Matejimovic 6th at the moment. He's going to need a better time to put some pressure on his nearest rival Iceman in the championship. Jack, who sits 3rd in championship, currently 4th on the grid at the moment. As Iceman, any improvement from him? He does indeed. A new fastest lap, 7/10 clear of D Biggs. Here comes D Biggs now. Any improvement from him? Whereas Matejimovic on the road, he's coming down the start finish straight. Any improvement from him this time? Does improve, but stays in 6th, 1.6 off of pole. D Biggs, any improvement? Not this time. Still 7/10 back to Iceman. Here comes Jack. No improvement either, still 4th. Sutty in 5th. KJ Argent, any improvement from him? None that time round. Rocket in 8th. Rebby 9th, crossing the line. Good improvement from Rebby, puts him up to 7th. 1.5 seconds better that time round. Here comes Rocket now. No improvement that time around. And Keeg still without a time set. A little bit damage on the front of that Project Car sponsored car. Very easy, as we said, to get your lap invalidated here with a lot of runoffs. So with 1:55. He should have a chance for another lap after this too, so hopefully he can get a time on the board. Rocket has gone to the pits, so Rocket's had enough of this for this session. He's going to settle for 9th at the moment unless Keegs can put up a better time. Here comes Iceman. He'll get one more lap in, no improvement that time. Suddy, any improvement? Nope. Matt Himovich getting over the curb there at Clark Curve. He needs a good time here and still hasn't improved, so one more lap for Matt Himovich to try put it down to championship leader Iceman as he goes sideways through paddock there. D Biggs, any improvement? No improvement that time. How about Jack? No improvement either, still a second off Iceman, so Iceman really setting down the marker here. Great lap from him, 7/10 clear of the entire field. Rebby, any improvement from him? Nope. KJ Argent, big drift there through paddock, that won't do him any favours. As you mentioned, Rocket in 9th in the pits, and Keegs has gone to the pits too. No time set from him. Quite a bit of front bumper damage there. I have to get it repaired before the start of the race. Here comes Gary. Can he do anything to get onto the front row? No improvement either, so Gary, Iceman's gone to the pits, so he's satisfied with his result. We've got 10 seconds left on the clock. Sutty with his final lap, currently 5th with a 1:38.9, 1.6 behind pole. Trying to keep that car straight with the foot down around Clark Curve. Any improvement this time round? Must think so if he stayed out. No improvement that time from Sutty, so he remains 5th. Matt Himovich now really needs to get up the grid a little bit. 9 points off Iceman in the championship. Any improvement this time round? None, so he remains 6th. 3rd row of the grid for Matt Himovich. D Biggs, an improvement for D Biggs, but still remains 2nd. How about Jack? No improvement that time. Steve Biggs closes the gap, but still on the front row, 6/10 off Iceman. Suddy in the pits. Matt Himovich finished. Here comes Rebby and a Rocket, I think. KJ Argent, any improvement? Nope. Stays 8th. Rebby stays 7th. I think that's everyone finished. Gary might, yeah, Gary's has one more lap. I think he's last on track. Oh, and he's run wide there, Clark Curve. That could ruin his time. Don't think he improved. We'll have to see now when the times come up. No improvement from Gary there. So Iceman championship leader on pole for this one. D Biggs in 2nd, Gary 3rd, Jack 3rd in the championship, 4th on the grid with Suddy Apex 5th. 2nd place in the championship, Matt Himovich will have to start from 6th. He's got a bit of work to do in this one. As we're on the grid for the final time in this championship for the Tin Top Racing UK Renault Clio Cup. 3 red lights and we're racing. Looks like a good start from, is that Rocket in the back of the grid? Oh, and he's tagged Jack, but they're still racing. It looks like Jack's got a really good start. Quite slow start from Iceman, so Jack takes the lead into Paddock Hill. Oh, there's a big incident behind. That looks like a car is flipped as Jack leads up to Druids. Iceman up the inside though. We're 4 wide into Druids. That looks like Suddy, and Gary's going to go the whole way around the outside with D Biggs back to 5th. Where is Matt Himovich? Matt Himovich has dropped to 9th, so that's not going to do his championship any good. Oh, D Biggs has hit Suddy off, but currently it's Jack with Iceman up the inside of him on the grass as they come into 30s for the first time. Jack trying to hang it out around the outside. Good clean racing from these 3. Oh, there's a big incident behind. It looks like Suddy and D Biggs have had a collision. Apologies, looks like KJ Argent maybe. Same livery for them 2 guys. Oh, as Jack pushes Iceman off the track, a bit cheeky from Jack there. Flash the lights from Iceman. Not happy with that incident, as Gary's going to have a look down the inside of Iceman now. Meanwhile, behind us, Almanhimovic back up to 7th. So an instant there at the start. It looked like it could have been Rocket or Rebby that was involved in that. I think it was Rebby, but it's just too close at the front to look away at the moment, as Jack leads from Iceman in 2nd now as they come onto clearways. Iceman all over the back of Jack, clearly faster at the moment. Gary in 3rd, KJ Argent, great running from him in 4th, and Keegs in 5th after starting 10th on the grid. Oh, as Jack pushes Iceman onto the... Oh, and he's collided with Gary there on the... So Jack really trying to use all of the track, pushed Iceman off, and Iceman's dropped right down to 5th place now. As we're going 3 wide into paddock, this is not going to work. Oh, close your eyes. Oh, it's Keegs. Keegs hits Gary in paddock hill. Keegs gone off. That promotes Jack back up to 1st. Keegs lost it on the inside and has hit Gary. Unfortunate for Gary there, as now Iceman and Jack continue their battle around Druid side by side. All over the back of Jack there. Iceman is KJ Arjun, and now Matahimovic is up to 4th. What a drive from Matahimovic after that incident, bringing his championship post back alive. What a shame for Gary now, down to 7th. He won't be happy with that incident with Keegs. Keegs from the back of the grid got up to 1st for a split second and then lost out. 12 minutes to go now. Down Pilgrim's Drop. Jack leading from Iceman. A little gap back to Matahimovic, who's on the outside of KJ Argent into Hawthorns. Looks to get the move done around the outside, and has done it successfully. Great move there from Matahimovic. From 9th back to 3rd now. Keeps his championship hopes alive. That's his main rival in front of Iceman. Has to get in front of him. Oh, as KJ Argent goes very wide over the grass there. That's going to be a slowdown. That'll allow Suddy by the looks of it. As now Iceman all over the back of Jack again, down clearways. What an incredible battle we have up front here. And Iceman takes the lead from Jack around the outside at Clark Curve. Back in front where he wants to be. Meanwhile in the background, Suddy and KJ Argent side by side. Looks like Suddy's got the move done for 4th place. And now Matahimovic is going to have Jack all over. Apologies, Jack's going to have Matahimovic to deal with now. We've seen them go head to head at the end of the Ginetta Junior race for the championship. Jack won't make it easy for Matahimovic, who wants to get onto the back of Iceman for... Oh, and Matahimovic goes very wide there at Graham Hill Bend. That's going to be a slowdown potentially for him. Top Racing King Chat. Iceman has done what Camish used to do in the Porsche: blast the quali, then put on slipper and rest up before the race. Definitely. Naughty Jack as well. Yeah, Jack getting a bit too movie across the road there. Squeezed Iceman first on the entrance to Hawthorns, and then Gary as well. Gary unfortunately got caught up in that incident with Keegs at Paddock Hill. Elbows out, says Daniel Francis. Proper racing from Iceman. Doesn't need to win but still going for it, says Tin Top Racing K. Definitely Iceman wants that win. He wants to go out in style. Matahimovic still keeping on the back of him after going wide there through Graham Hill, so it's going to be an interesting one. We've still got 10 minutes left of this race to go. Down the pack a little bit. Suddy Apex ahead of KJ Argent, who now is rocket on the back of him. Gary on his recovery drive in 7th, with D Biggs caught up in an incident at Surtees as well in 8th. Keegs after that incident at Paddock Hill in 9th, and Rebby, who was flipped at Paddock as well at the start of the race, is back in 10th. It's a shame we can't field a full field of 16 Clios here in Class A. It would bring much closer racing, like in the Class B for example. Battles all the way through the field. Sometimes these cars can get a bit strung out, and the racing can just turn into a bit of a time trial. But anything can still happen. We've still got 10 minutes to go. Championship on the line for Iceman, who currently leads. That's all he needs with championship rival Matahimovic back in 3rd. Jack looks to be closing on Matahimovic a little bit on this lap. Meanwhile in the background, Rocket still on the back of KJ Argent for 5th. So the Apex in 4th place, going to hopefully capitalise on a mistake from one of the front 3. That'll be his plan. keep the head down. You never know what can happen. D-Big's the only one with a slowdown, as we can see from the red indicated by his position number. So he has a time penalty. Keegs back in 9th and Rebby in 10th with a very damaged Clio there. Into Druids, a little lock up from Iceman there. Lap 5, just under 8 minutes to go. All he needs to do, he can even afford to lose a position to Jack and he'll still be okay in the championship. Worst comes to worst, he could lose a position to Matahimovic too. Only 5 points separates the points distributed for the top 3 in the Clios. 25 for the race victor, 22 for second and 20 for third. So it would be enough for Iceman if he ended up getting to a mistake and maybe have an incident with Jack later on in the race. We'll have to wait and see. He'll be wary of this, but at the moment still leading from Jack in second. Great showing from KJ Argent in 5th. Oh, as Rocket goes off in the background at Hawthorns there, will that allow Gary and D-Biggs? Oh, D-Biggs has gone off as well, same position. And now Gary's going to have a run up the inside of him into through Dingledale and up to Sheen. Safely gets it done. So Gary up to 6th. Meanwhile Jack closing into within half a second of Iceman now for the lead of this race. It's not what Iceman will want. Cross the line, start lap 6, 6.5 minutes left. Matahimovic with a time penalty in 3rd. That's not what he'll want. 3 seconds back at the moment. He'll have to put the head down now to try get it, build some time on Sully. Depending on the time penalty, could be a 1 second, 2 second, even 3 seconds. Whereas Sully will know this and he'll be trying to put the head down. The gap ever coming down at the front now as Jack will start to get into the toe of Iceman as they come down Pilgrim's Drop. Matt's not giving up yet though, says Tin Top Racing K. Definitely Matt's a fighter. He'll be on high confidence after that win in the Ginettas. As I mentioned, 4 championship titles up for grabs tonight. One already won by Matahimovic in the Prestige Men's Ginetta Junior Championship. The Tin Top Racing UK Renault Clio Cup Championship up for deciders, as seen here. Championship leader Iceman in the lead. The hard compound Ginetta Supercup has already been decided, with Iceman taking that victory. He's currently 50 points ahead going into this round, so no one can catch him. So that title's already been decided for Iceman. The British Touring Car Chat Porsche Carrera Cup GB still up for grabs, and also the BTCC Blueprints Touring Car Championship up for grabs still, with 2 rounds of that still to be played at the Brands Hatch Indy and GP circuit later on this evening. So some action-packed racing still to come tonight. Already chaos in both races so far, and a lot more to come by the looks of it. A little lock-up from Iceman there into Druids. Still has Jack all over the back of him. Oh, and Matahimovic has dropped down to 5th in all this. Looks to have had an off now, so that could be championship over for Matahimovic. Iceman will see this on the timing screens. Might not fight Jack too hard. We'll have to wait and see. It's unfortunate for Matahimovic now. Can he get back in front of Suddy and KJ Argent? Good running from Suddy now up to 3rd. The fan club will be happy about that. And good running from KJ Argent too in the base 1 Clio, as he's got Matahimovic all over the back of him now. And Rocket looking up the inside. Oh, we're 2 wide down Pilgrim's Drop. Gonna go 3 wide by the looks of it. Whoa, thinks better of it from Rocket. side by side. Oh, KJR just pushed Matimovic off and they've gone into the tyres. Matimovic into the tyres, and that is the championship over by the looks of it. Iceman already ahead in the championship, but that has ended it for Matimovic. No hope now unless something drastic happens on track. KJ Argent got a bit wide himself, pushed Matimovic off. Very similar to the Camish incident at the end of the BTCC Championship last year, going off in Hawthorns in the last race, chasing down Turkington. Unfortunate for him now. 3 minutes left. Iceman still up ahead on the road and in the championship. Has Jack all over him still. Just can't get close enough to make a move yet. As these two well clear of Suddy Apex in third now. That promotes Rocket to fourth, D-Biggs in fifth, Gary up to sixth, KJ Argent down to seventh after that incident with Matimovic in eighth, Keegs still ninth, and Rebby in 10th. Keegs and Rebby very close there at the back of the pack. So Rebby's actually got ahead of Keegs after that incident that sent him on his roof on the first lap. Laps running out here now for Jack to get past Iceman to take the final win of the season. 2 minutes 20 seconds left. Could get 2 more laps at the end of this depending on how quick to get around. Well clear of the rest of the field. 9 seconds down the road of Suddy Apex in third. As the clock counts down, 1 minute and 45. So this will be the penultimate lap. We will get one more at the end of this, unless there's some drastic incident between these two up front. Iceman seems to lock up into Druids every lap, but it is working for him. He's not losing any time to Jack. He's come down Cooper Straight now for the 9th time. No other close battles at the moment on track. Neil J in chat, oh yes, Suddy for a podium. Definitely well deserved Suddy, if he can hold on to it now. Tintop Racing UK in the chat, 2 laps to stay on the grey stuff, Iceman. Indeed. It'll be interesting to see if they do slow down, the checker flag will come out before they cross the line. But will Iceman want to concede the victory to Jack? Jack could try just take the lead if Iceman slows down. I feel like Iceman is a true racer. He'll want to take this victory in style. He won't concede anything to Jack. We've got 23 seconds left as we come down clearways. Should have enough time for one more lap by the looks of it. Through Clark Curve. And across the line with 5 seconds to go. So this will be the final lap of the Tintop Racing UK Renault Clio Cup for Class A in the THR Racing League. Oh, as Jack goes very wide in paddock. That's going to give the Iceman a little bit of breathing space. So the Apex crosses the line in third. We got D-Biggs in fourth with Gary and Rocket 5th, 6th. Second place in the championship, Matimovic in 8th. Now how many points is Jack behind? He's 14 behind at the moment in the standings. Only 12 points the difference between them points wise. So Matimovic should hang on to second if my calculations are correct in the championship. In fact, only be 10 points between them now as Matimovic gets past KJ Argent, so he will hang on to second. As they come through Sterling. And on to clearaways for the final time tonight in the Tintop Racing UK Renault Clio Cup. It's going to be Iceman that's going to take the victory here tonight. Congratulations, Iceman takes the championship. Only 5 between Matt and Jack at the start of Tintop Racing K. Apologies, yes. So Jack will take second place in the championship. So first and second on the road, first and second in the championship. Suddy Apex in third. Congratulations, Suddy. Great podium for you. D-Biggs in fourth after an instant. Good recovery drive. Rocket in fifth. And Matt Himovic is up to sixth. Still not enough though to take Jack in the championship. So Matt Himovic will finish third. Oh, but he's actually dropped to eighth now because of the time penalties. So these will reshuffle the order a little bit. Rebby in ninth, and Keegs is going to come home in 10th. Tintop Racing UK and Jack. Congratulations, Iceman, a worthy champion despite being pushed hard by Jack and Matt. Indeed, congratulations to you, Iceman. Fastest lap for Jack as well, so he takes a point for fastest lap. So final classifications: Iceman first, Jack second, Suddy Apex third, D-Biggs fourth, Rocket fifth, KJ Argent sixth, Gary seventh, Matt Himovic eighth, Rebby ninth, and Keegs in 10th. Matt Himovic in the chat. Well done, Iceman. Jack, pal, pushed hard, just got taken out by 2 idiots and made one mistake. Ben, you know how it feels. Indeed I do. We've all been there. Unlucky Matt Himovic. Was a tough task with 9 points in the difference coming into this round. You did your best. A podium in the championship isn't a bad result at all. Andrew Taylor, good evening to you, Monkey Boy. Good showing last night, really picked up the pace. Hope you're well. Tintop Racing UK, I'll chase up the trophy manufacturer tomorrow. The cap is already with Tyler with a smiley face. Indeed, as you mentioned, Tintop Racing UK sponsoring a trophy and cap for the winners of the Class A and Class B Renault Clio Cup. So thank you very much to you guys. It's been a pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have you join us for the entirety of the season. Generally tuning in for the Ginetta Juniors and the Clios. It's been a privilege having you, and we hope to continue to see you next season, which I think is starting pretty soon after this season ends. So we look forward to seeing you then, guys. Thanks to all the racers that have been involved in this. It's been great fun watching, and a huge thanks to Ben for the excellent commentary duty as well. Thanks very much, Tintop Racing UK. Appreciate it. Also, well done to Matthew as well for the Class B commentary. Absolutely fantastic job from him. It's been a pleasure having you, Tintop Racing UK, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. So congratulations, Iceman, on your first championship of the night. You've already wrapped up this next championship, the hard compound Ginetta GT4 Supercup. Currently 50 points ahead of D-Biggs in second, with Suddy Apex in third on 55. So still all to play for second and third in the championship, with Matt Himovic in fourth on 60 points behind. So just 10 points separate second, third and fourth in the championship. Keegan Walsh, are we still doing knockhill? This is the final round of the championship. Keegs, to the best of my knowledge, the top 6 racers overall for the package from Class A and Class B will be participating in a once-off event in knockhill after the Class B finale next week at some stage. So kind of in like a super shootout in knockhill. From what I know, knockhill on the Project Car servers only allows 12 people on track at once, so that's why it'd be the top 6 from each. So that'll be an exciting battle to see some of the faster Class B guys battle it up with the top best of the best in Class A. KJR in the chat. Incident, car wouldn't turn due to contact, not intentional, sorry. It's nice to see the drivers sorting it out in the chat. Matimovic asked me, Ben, are you taking part in Knockhill? Well, I hope to be taking part, Matimovic. We have to wait and see if the admins consider me in the top 6 of the Class B. We'll have to wait and see, but I would definitely be up for that. Great track. It's going to be some great racing between both classes. But right now it's all about the Ginetta GT4 Supercup, live from Brands Hatch GP. As AMH Racing joins us for this one as well. A fast racer, as we've seen in the last 2 streams, taking victories at Silverstone International and Snetterton. Has 2 championships to fight for this evening: the British Touring Car Chat Porsche Carrera Cup GB, and also the BTCC Blueprints Touring Car Championship later on this evening. Mark Phelan suggesting Matt and Ben commentate from in-car for a super shootout then. That could be possible. We'd have to stream, only one of our cars would be streamed, so probably Matt Himovic, but I'd be definitely up for that, co-commentating as we drive. It's just a bit of fun to see how we get on. Definitely consider that anyway. That's a great idea, Mark. Thanks for the suggestion. As we'll find a driver to ride on board with now. We'll go on board with Keegs for a lap of Brands Hatch GP as he gets it over the curb there, Clark Curve. A lap of Brands Hatch GP for the final race of the hard compound Ginetta GT4 Supercup. As I go up in 5th gear, on the brakes early, into paddock. As mentioned, cold tyres for these cars in qualifying, so they're very, very slippery on the rear. Keeping it in 2nd, as you can see the car tries to get loose around Druids. Just manages to hold on for Keegs. So come down to Graham Hill Bend now, getting nice and tight to that curb for a good exit down the Cooper straight. Jack currently on pole with a 1:44.6. True, Surtees now getting on the curb. Just my unsettled car a little bit, gets a bit sideways. AMH with a 1:30.3 goes on to pole. 14 seconds clear of Jack, so obviously a mistake from Jack somewhere around the lap. Up through Hawthorns now for Keegs in 3rd gear, grabbing 4th. Let's come up to Westfield, back down to 3rd, gets in on the curb. Good line through there. Mischief there, only he's slowing down, so it looks like he got a slow down for that line through Westfield. Into Sterling's now, getting sideways again. Very hard to keep these cars straight. Down Clearways now, under the bridge into Clark Curve, getting right in on the curb for Keegs. That's going to unsettle the car, as you can see there, getting sideways. And he's lost it into the gravel trap, and that will conclude his lap. Let's see where it puts him. No lap time, as he got invalidated for that line through Westfield, of course. So AMH currently leading 5/10 clear of Iceman in 2nd, D-Biggs 3rd with Jack 4th. From 4th down, quite a big gap, probably a few mistakes from the drivers. Look for them to improve as the tyres heat up. Any improvement from AMH? He does with a 1:29.2, 1.6 clear of Iceman. Now where is Iceman on track? He's coming through Clark Curve as well. We've got D-Biggs in front of him. Any improvement from D-Biggs? Indeed, goes 2nd with a 1:34. Iceman, can he take it back? No improvement from Iceman that time round. So Matt Himovic is in the pits already. Oh, a lot of damage on that car, so obviously a bit of an incident there. Currently sitting 6th. Just seeing in chat there, Manimovic has told Tyler he'll commentate and not race, but up for co-commentary. I'd have to think about that one now, if I'd like to take part or not. We have one commentator anyway. I'll probably make a decision later on in the week. But it's good to know we'll have a stream and we will have a commentator for that shootout, whenever that may be, between the top 6 in Class A and top 6 in Class B. That will be an exciting race. No points on offer, no championships, so it'll be hell for leather racing on a very tight Knockhill circuit in Scotland. Currently 3 minutes left. AMH, any improvement? No improvement that time around. D-Biggs in second, Iceman third, Jack fourth, Gary 5th, Matt Himvich in the pits in 6th, KJ Argent 7th, Rocket 8, Rebby 9th, Keegan, Sully, Apex still set time. Any improvement from Iceman goes second. Any improvement for D-Biggs? Not that time round. So Iceman gets back onto the front row. So the Apex puts himself in 4th place, with Gary going up to 4th there, so good time from Gary, Class B runner as we know. Jack in 6th, Demotes Matt Himvich to 7th, KJ Argent to 8th, Rocket 9th, Rebby 10th, Keeg still to set a time as well. Just got to keep it on the track, try to avoid track limits, put a decent time in. So here comes Rocket across the start finish line. Any improvement? He does improve, goes up to 8th. Good showing from him. Quite a variation in the lap times in these cars as the tyres are very cold. Shouldn't play too much of a part in the race as quite a large track, so it shouldn't really come into back market traffic too much. AMH now. Does improve on his time again with a 1:29.2. 6/10 ahead of Iceman at the moment. Here comes him. We've got a bit of traffic in front of us. I think that was Keegs had an incident there coming out of Clark Curve. Any improvement from Iceman? No improvement that time around. How about D-Biggs? None either. So a minute and 50 left to go, so these will get another lap after this. Andrew Taylor, apologies I missed your comment above. Very well, thank you, really enjoyed last night. Good to be finally on the pace with you guys. You even got yourself a pole, Monkey Boy, well done. So an extra point for that in the Porsche Carrera Cup, I think it was, if I remember correctly, so well done. Good to be on the pace with you guys last night. Better late than never. Sutty in the top 3. Yeah guys, get your predictions in. Who's going to take the victory in this race? At the moment it looks like AMH will be on pole. Can Iceman trouble him? As we've mentioned, championship already decided with Iceman 50 points clear. We've only got 10 points separating 2nd, 3rd and 4th, which is D-Biggs, Suddy Apex and Matahimovic. Will those positions be shaken up? Suddy currently 4th, D-Biggs in 3rd, Matahimovic back down in 7th. So he's going to have it all to do to get on the podium in this championship. What are we thinking for the race, guys? What's your top 3 predictions? Who's going to keep it on the road? Who's going to be consistent enough not to let that car spin? As we've seen last night in the Class B at Silverstone, very tricky cars to handle. AMH just using that power of the rear wheel machine to get himself around Druids there. It's gone quicker again. 8/10 now is the gap to Iceman in 2nd. No improvement from him here. How about D-Biggs? Can he get closer? No improvement either. So the Apex still 4th, Jack 5th, Gary in the pits in 6th, so he's given up. Keegs has got himself up to 7th now, so a good lap from Keegs. Manhimovic in the pits in 8th, as we've seen. Rockets in the pits in 9th, Rebby in 10th. Has one more lap, so he'll be the last man to cross the line. Very hard to handle when you get smashed off, isn't it, Ben? Says Matthew Duffin. Definitely, we won't go into that. I'm sure everyone knows what that's all about from last night. But let's forget about that. It's all about these guys tonight. Neil J says AMH first, Iceman second. Definitely these two have been the front runners in the class and throughout the whole championship. It will be interesting to see who's third. So Iceman, any improvements this time? Can he trouble AMH? Currently 8/10 clear, kicking up the dirt there on the outside. Clark, he is pushing to try get that pole position. Ah, no, he's given up just as I bigged him up for a good lap. D-Biggs, can he do anything to get himself on the front row? And he can't. How about Jack? Any improvement? None that time. Keegs looks to be finished, so it's just a rocket. Or apologies, Revy is the last one on track. Can he get himself further up the grid? We'll have to wait and see. Gets himself up to 8th. Pushes Matahimovic down to 9th. So Matahimovic has it all to do in this one. So AMH on pole from Iceman second, D-Biggs and Sully on the second row of the grid, Jack and Gary on the third, Keeks in 7th, Rebby 8th, Matahimovic 9th. A lot of work to do from him. Watch him coming through the field. Rocket 10th and KJ Argent back in 11th. So here we go. For the final time in the hard compound Ginetta GT4 Supercup. 3 red lights. And we're racing. And it looks like a good start from the front 4. Jack's got a great start from D-Biggs. Up his inside already. Pretty slow from Iceman now as AMH is away in first. Iceman second. Suddy's got up to third. Great start from him. D-Biggs gets it back to 4th. Jackson 5th. As they all string out now coming through Druids. Nice clean start for the whole field by the looks of it. And we're safely away in the hard compound Ginetta GT4 Championship. No incidents so far as it come through 30s. AMH leading. Nice clean start from these guys. Very unusual not to see someone spin off by lighting up those rear tyres. So Iceman leads, or apologies, AMH leads from Iceman second, Suddy Apex third, D-Biggs 4th, Jack 5th. He's got Keegs all over the back of him. Gary in 7th, Matahimovic is in 8th with Rebby 9th, KJ Argent up to 10th and Rocket in 11th. Matahimovic kicking up a bit of grass there on the eggs of the Sterlings. But it's this man AMH already starting to build a gap. 1.2 seconds at the end of the first lap. Is anyone going to be able to keep up with his pace? Front 4 starting to... This looks like Gary's made a move. Apologies. Suddy's still in 30s. Got D-Biggs all over the inside of him. Couple of timings switching there. It looked like they were very close through Druids. D-Biggs all over the back of Sully now. Coming into 30s for the second time. Looks to have got a good run there for D-Biggs. He's going to be all in the slipstream of Sully now. As they come down Pilgrim's Drop. The front 4 starting to get away now from Gary in 5th. Gary has said the likes of AMH and Iceman are extremely quick in all 5 races. He finds it very hard to keep up with them. As we know, Gary's a front runner in the Class B Championship. Just can't get onto their pace at the moment in Class A, but we are looking forward to seeing him in the shootout race in Knockhill and also in the Class A Championship next season. It's looking like it's going to be a very competitive Class A Championship next season, depending on which drivers get promoted and which get relegated from Class A. But there will be some incredibly good racing all the way down through the field. which also brings the opportunity for a new commentator for the Class B racing, as both Manahimovic and myself will be most likely in the Class A next season. So if anyone watching the stream tonight is into their streaming, into broadcasting, wants to get involved in commentating, please hit myself or Matthew Duffin or the THR League, likes of Tyler, a message, as it would be great to have a stream and commentary for the Class A events. I presume myself and Matthew will do some commentary together on the Class B, but it'll be great to have a stream for the Class A as well, as there'll be some epic racing next season. So Sully just pulling ahead of D Biggs now. Gary's let Keegs back through, so it must have been a mistake from Gary there. As we got a good battle behind as well between Manahimovic, Rebby and Jack. Jack with a pretty bad start there. Started 5th on the grid, made a good run up to 4th into paddock, but now he's back down in 9th, and he has a slowdown penalty too, as he's side by side with Rebby, who spun it off there into Clark, unfortunately for him. But AMH, a 2.3 second gap through Druids for the 4th time. 10 minutes to go in this session. From Iceman in 2nd, championship winner already. He's just going to enjoy the drive. Suddy still in 3rd, good showing from him, on for 2nd podium of the night, with D Biggs in 4th. Keegs is now up to 5th, as we mentioned. Gary getting past Gary. Manahimovic has actually got, oh, Gary spun it. Gary spun out of, and he's lost 3 positions now. Back down to 8th for Gary after that spin at Druids. Promotes Jack up to 7 now, and he's got Rocket on the back of him. Rebby in 10th and KJ Argent in 11th, looking to close up. Daniel Francis, I do commentary, but I want to be on colour and do it as a bad guy. If you're interested anyway, Daniel, give the lads a shout. That's a lot of the reason why I came on halfway through the season to do a stream for the Class A guys, because of the great work Matthew was doing for the Class B streams. I felt it was only fair for them guys to get some coverage as well. They definitely deserve it. They've provided some great racing for the second half of the season. So definitely, if you're interested, give the guys a shout. They'll be more than happy. D Biggs just can't get close enough to Sully at the moment. Very similar on pace between these two guys for the final podium position. As you can see on the track map on the right of the screen, cars pretty much spread out across this GP circuit. Looks like KJ Argent's had an incident in the background. He has indeed. So a bit of a spin coming out of Druids here, the same as where Gary had his. No, I upset people enough in the chat apparently, says Daniel Francis. Yeah, things can get a little bit heated at times, but that's racing, I guess. It's the same in real life, it's the same in sim racing. When everyone's so passionate about it, the emotions come out. Predicted 16 for Class A next season, says Mark Phelan. And what are the criteria being Class A? I'm not 100% sure on the criteria, Mark. From what I believe, it's the top 6 from Class B on a cumulative points over the 5 championships will be promoted to Class A. Vice versa in Class B, or in Class A, the bottom 6 with the least amount of points will be relegated to Class B. Now, whether there's any newcomers to the championship, they might have to set a time like we all had to do at the start of the year in Donington, and that's split the classes up originally. So I'll have to wait and see. I'm not 100% sure, but you would know yourself from watching the stream the likes of what drivers will be moving up to Class A. If I had to make a prediction myself, you would obviously have, from Class A anyway, you'd have your AMH, Iceman, Jack, Madhimovic, D-Biggs, Big Boy Brazier potentially. I don't see him here tonight. Very quick guy in Class A also. Suddy Apex, of course, running third at the moment, as we can see on screen here. And then it just depends on what guys have scored points from the bottom half of Class A that will be able to stay in the championship. The likes of Class B, then you've got obviously Tyler House is leading a lot of the championships at the moment. He'll definitely be being promoted. Little Leach, Gary, of course, who's been a front runner in Class A as a filler this season already, with the likes of Deeks, NJ, Monkey Boy potentially after his great performance last night, putting the pole on in the Porsche Carrera Cup. That's just a few names I can list off the top of my head. TMLS has had some good run-ins as well. Daniel Francis, who's in the chat, he's had some good runnings now second half of the season. So we'll just have to wait and see really, but yeah, it's going to be an extremely close grid. I definitely think the bottom half of Class A will feel much more comfortable, and the racing will be much closer in Class B with the remaining Class B drivers, and then the guys moving up to Class A, it's going to be an incredible battle through the whole field. As D-Big's closing in on Suddy now, lap 8, just under 5 minutes to go. Manahimovic, you can see in the left there, has only joined the session, so it looks like he disconnected. Lost connection on PS4 for some reason, he says in the chat. Mark Fian says, be good if Class A guys drove every race also. I do agree with that. I think it's there should be 16 guys in this league. As you can see on the track map, they're spread out quite a lot. Just not so many battles on track at the moment, so definitely I think there should be 16 guys that are going to race every week in the A class, definitely. NJ says he's going to stay in B next season. I'm kind of on the same situation as you, NJ. I feel like I'd like to stay in B because I haven't really won anything, but at the same time I think moving up to A will only improve me as a driver, and hopefully won't get involved in too many incidents that cost you championships. So but yeah, no, if I got offered to move up to A, I think I'd take it, definitely. Michael Matthews, who's Peaceful Explosion in Class B. I'll definitely be in B next season. Kieran KJ Argent gave me a drive through for being last. Interesting from KJ Argent there. I wondered, did he take it? He could have just, he's running 10th anyway, so he could have just continued, and hopefully admin would sort it out for him and you still get your 10th place at the end even if you got disqualified. But it looks like he has taken it. He's a minute and 15 seconds behind the lead now. Yeah, it looks to be actually AMH is coming up to catch him. Yeah, closing in on him there. It's been a Sunday drive for AMH out front, 9 seconds clear of Iceman. We've seen these two go head to head in the Touring Car Championship. Hopefully it'll be more similar later on this evening. Suddy and D-Big still battling it out this entire race. NJ in chat, no, I'm not good in the Porsche and the Ginettas. Matt Himovic says Ben in the A so we can both commentate together. Definitely, I'd love to co-commentate with you, Matt. It'd be definitely a great stream. Just hope we can find a commentator for the Class A next season, because I still want to be able to watch us battle it out on track as well. D-Big still all over the back of Suddy, can't make a move, so this is great driving from Suddy, having to defend. A little flash of lights from D-Biggs there. Oh, as he makes a switch back to the inside. No, covers it well from Suddy. As Suddy goes defensive this time now, as we're on to the final lap here. Oh, D-Biggs big slide nearly goes into the back of Suddy. This will be the final lap of the race, only 50 seconds left. Still neck and neck between these two now through Hawthorns for the final time. Up front it is going to be AMH that's going to take the race victory. We've got 10 seconds left, so this should be the final lap. Three, two, one, indeed it is. Congratulations AMH, flash of lights from you. Well done on your victory. Iceman's going to come home in second, but it's this battle of interest in Suddy and D-Biggs into Clark Curb for the final time. Suddy goes defensive, hops that curb a little bit, couldn't settle the car, staying on the inside. D-Biggs has got a really good run. Flash of light, Suddy takes a second podium tonight. Congratulations Suddy. D-Biggs back and forth. Jack has made a good recovery drive back to 5th place. Pretty quiet race from him. And Gary will come home in 6th. It looks like Rocket and Keegs are pretty close for 7th and 8th on track. But Keegs getting very in on that curb, as we've seen him in the onboard and qualifying. But he's got a good run on Rocket here. Oh, they're going to be neck and neck down the line. They've touched, and Keegs has just done it on the line. Oh, Rocket's just got it on the line there. Keegs was in front momentarily. Rebby comes home in 9th, and KJ Argent's going to round it out in 10th. But this man joins the lobby late each week and dominates from the start. AMH takes the win from Iceman second. Congratulations AMH. And Iceman will take the hard compound Ginetta GT4 Supercup Championship for 2020. The second championship in Class A of the night. Congratulations to you, Iceman. Can he go for the hat-trick? We'll find out next when we're joined for the British Touring Car Chat Porsche Carrera Cup GB in just a few moments' time. Just having a look through a couple of the comments. Mark Phelan in the chat again, from a guy who knows nothing but loves to watch. Is there an opportunity in Project Cars to say have team or teammates? There is no option to have a Constructors' Championship or have teammates in Project Cars, Mark. However, if we have 16 drivers racing, for example, you can have 2 guys run the same livery. There's a lot of different liveries. I can just show you, for example, at the moment I'm in the Vantage just as a broadcaster, but if I go to the Ginetta here, for example, and I click livery select, you can see all the liveries there. So there's the NX Oil Racing number 79 and 80, so we could have 2 guys running both these cars, and you can see down the field there's a whole list of constructors there. So potentially for next season, another great suggestion from you, Mark. We could have guys running in teams. Maybe they could decide on their teams themselves, or they could it could be randomly drawn. But we could have a team kind of atmosphere and have a constructors championship as well. I think that would be a great addition to the championship. What do you guys think about that? Give a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you agree with that. I think it would add a great aspect to the championship as well. So great suggestion there, Mark. Thanks for that. Daniel Francis says he suggested that, so it's considered at least. Definitely, I think that would be a great addition, Daniel. Matahimovic, got a feeling I might win this race. Oh, that was in relation to the last one when he got disconnected. Damn, he just pipped me, says Matahimovic. Yeah, unlucky Matahimovic with that disconnection there. Well done to AMH, says NJ, and also yes, Suddy with his second podium tonight, so well done to you, Suddy, on the controller. Phil Naylor, good racing from Suddy and D Biggs. KJ Argent, I think caused due to Matahimovic's disconnect, told me to drop to 11 with 10 runners. Interesting. Yeah, hopefully the admin can look at that, KJ Argent, and sort it out for you. Andrew Taylor with the thumbs up about the teammates. Definitely, I think it would be a great idea. My teammate, if I'm in League A, will be AMH. That would be interesting to see. We could, of course, some of the drivers are a lot quicker, so whether drivers get to pick their teammates, or maybe the best driver in the league goes with the not the worst, because there's no worst drivers, but like the slowest driver. Second fastest goes with the second slowest, and that should really bring the championship to be really close come the end. Ben and Alfie for teammates, says Mark Phelan. There's more chance of pigs falling from the sky, Mark, now, if I'm completely honest. I'd rather run as a solo independent team. Alfie and Swim Fins mega team. NJ, there's a couple of rubbish drivers in League B. Well, that's what League B's for, NJ. You know, people who are learning how to drive. What I can say is, from the start of the Class B Championship, it's been a very from the start of the season up to now, like, a lot of drivers have improved, and we're seeing a lot more close racing between 7-8 drivers each week. So now we head on to the British Touring Car Chat Porsche Carrera Cup GB. This championship is still up to be decided, so as I can pull up the standings for you now, we can see how they look. Coming into the final round here in Brands Hatch GP, it's this man AMH Racing who leads by 6 points to Iceman in second, Matahimovic in third on 12, and then an 11 point gap back to D Biggs in fourth on 33 points. So D Biggs still can technically win the championship. Apologies, it can't. There's only 20 points for the victor here, so it's between the top three: AMH, Iceman and Matahimovic. Just a little rundown of the points. First place will score 20, 17 will score for second place, third place will score 15. That's your top 3 point scores. A point for pole position and a point for fastest lap here. As we've seen the last few weeks, AMH has been pretty dominant in this championship, so he'll be looking for maximum point scoring of 22 points here, as he goes very wide there. Having a look at the comments there. Did I miss something last night, says Mark. Oh well, we won't get into it. Swimfins needs some practice. His fast lap was 14 seconds slower than second to last in one race, says Michael Matthews. Definitely, some people can struggle with sim racing compared to real racing. Definitely, I'd advise some of the the less experienced guys maybe just get on the rig more, practice, do some time trial events. They're very race like, just get more practice in. As we're going to ride on board with Jack for a lap here in the Porsches. So we come up to Paddock Hill again, just over that crest, getting on the brakes, down to third. You're going to get right in tight to the apex. Don't hit it though, as it'll completely unsettle the car. Make sure not to run too wide there into the gravel at Paddock. Very easy place to get a slowdown penalty. Into Druids, then back down to second, easing on the power. These cars have got good grip and good downforce, but on cold tyres they can be very slippy, similar to the GT4 cars. Into 30s, then back down to second. A few different lines there as we get on the power early, down the straight into Pilgrim's Drop under the bridge. Braking at the 100 board for Hawthorns, keeping the car nice and settled there. And on the brakes early, then dropping down to third for Westfield. A little bit of lag going on here on board Jack. Down clearways then, looking for the slipstream off the car in front. Back down to third for Clark Curve, and on the power nice and early to get a good exit here onto the Brabham straight. Where does this put Jack? A great showing from Jack, up to second, just half a second behind Iceman in first. So Jack currently second, Rocket third, Matahimovic fourth, and Rebby in fifth at the moment. Still a lot of times to come in. AMH still to set a time as well. Where is he on track? Coming down through Pilgrim's Drop, so it looks like an invalidated lap for AMH. Weaving them tyres to get some heat into them. Gary has disconnected from the session for the second time. Hopefully he can get back in for this race, because we know he's very quick in these Porsche cars. Iceman goes faster again, 1 second ahead of Jack now. As AMH, can he do anything about the pole man? Don't forget, championship on the line here, only 6 points between them. No time again from AMH, so an invalidated lap. He needs to get a move on, just 5 minutes left in this session. Where's Matahimovic? Third place in championship, currently fifth on the road. He's got Iceman behind him. Indeed it is. D-Biggs also to set a time, same livery as AMH, the 911 Carrera, 912 for D-Biggs. So that's an example of the teammate liveries there, Mark. AMH running the 911 car, D-Biggs in the 912. Rocket in the pit, so he's given up in fifth place. Obviously doesn't feel he can improve on his time. Iceman's backed off Matahimovic there to get a cleaner lap. Suddy Apex, great showing from Suddy up to third. Really putting on the pressure of the front runners tonight, so great showing from him. Keegs in fifth, can he make any improvement as he spins coming through Clark into Thrustmaster Carrera Cup car? Where's AMH now, still putting on a lap? Here he comes across the line, championship on stake, and he goes on pole by a second ahead of Iceman. What a statement from AMH. Took him a while to put in a time, but he's gone 1 second clear of the rest of the field, looking for that extra point for pole position. Matahimovic has let Iceman through now. Rocket in the pits as we mentioned. Here comes Rebby and Gary back out on track. Nice to see him out on track. No time set yet, so hopefully AMH is second ahead at the moment. Is he going to keep it there? Will Iceman be able to improve after getting ahead of Matahimovic? What do you guys think? Also very importantly, who's going to win this race? and who's going to win the championship. Just 6 points separates AMH and Iceman at the moment, with Matahimovic 12 points behind. Could we be in for a shocker? Could Matahimovic pull it out of the bag? We'll have to wait and see. Iceman will have to be very, very aggressive from the start now to make sure AMH doesn't pull away. We've seen him pull away last week at Silverstone. AMH goes quicker again. No improvement from Iceman there. Oh, and that's D Biggs off in the gravel. Who have we got coming through the final few corners? That's D Biggs, and oh, Keegs has had to take a void in action there. That's going to hinder his time. Does he make any improvement? No improvement. How about KJ Argent? No improvement from him either in 8th. Gary still, oh, big. Keegs goes off into the pack there, into the gravel. Still no time yet for Gary. He's got a minute 46 left, so he will get another lap in after this one. We know how quick he is in these Porsche cars. Took the win last night in Class B. Iceman's headed to the pits, or apologies, AMH is headed to the pits now, 1.1 ahead of Iceman. Obviously quite satisfied with that. Let's see if Iceman can improve on his time. A minute left, so he will get another lap. He's got Gary right behind him too, so Gary will be learning the break off the braking points of Iceman. Any improvement this time round? 50 seconds left, no improvement. How about Gary? Where can he put himself? Gary goes into 10th, 4 seconds off, so not the best lap from Gary. He'll have one more chance to move up the grid. Jack meanwhile has got past Suddy, currently in 3rd. AMH in the pits, Matahimovic in the pits, and Rocket in the pits also. So Matahimovic has given up. Suddy goes faster, can't get ahead of Jack though, who stays 2nd. KJ Argent still 8th. Here comes Rebby now, a very damaged Carrera Cup car there. Oh, and he's headed for, oh, looked like he was heading for the pits there. And any improvement from him? None that time round. So AMH on provisional pole. Iceman's headed to the pits, 1.1 seconds behind. That means it looks like Jack is the only one that can trouble them at the moment. Who else have we got on track? Suddy's gone into the pits in 4th. Here comes Gary now. Can he get himself off the last row of the grid? We know he's quick. We'll be looking for a top 5 potentially. Let's see where he goes. And 6th. He'll join D Biggs on the 3rd row of the grid. I think that's D Biggs just going through, is it? No. Oh, D Biggs goes up to 3rd, so an improvement from D Biggs. 1.1 seconds behind AMH, so very close between him and Iceman for 2nd place. Gary in 6th, as we mentioned. KJ Argent now. Any improvement from him? Currently 9th. No improvement that time around, and we've got one driver left on track. Who is it? And Jack's entered the pits, so that'll be the end of the qualifying session for the British Touring Car Chat Porsche Carrera Cup GB, and it's AMH championship leader on pole position from Iceman in 2nd, 1st and 2nd in championship as well, locking out the front grid. D Biggs in 3rd, good time from him, with Jack 4th. Study Apex to Motor 5th. Gary in 6th after that disconnection. Matahimovic in 7th. He's got a lot of work to do for 3rd place in the championship. Keegs in 8th. KJ Argent 10th. Rocket in 10th, and Rebby in 11th. So here we go for the final time in the British Touring Car Chat Porsche Carrera Cup. 3 lights and we're racing. Good start from Suddy. He's up to second already. As D-Biggs gets up to second and actually just cuts him off. So it's AMH leading. Iceman with a very poor start there. He's down to 7th already. D-Biggs going defensive on Suddy into Druids. Gary up to 4th. Great start from Gary. Matt Himovic and Jack 5th to 6th. Iceman with a terrible start down to 7th off the front row of the grid. Just didn't get it hooked up there on the start. Owen Keeks has hit KJ Argent off into Graham Hill Bend. Cuts the corner himself. We're 3 wide into 30s. Matt Himovic, Jack and Iceman. This is not what Iceman needed now, as AMH is starting to pull away at the front. 6 points behind, needs to finish ahead of AMH here. And currently sitting in 7th. That's not looking likely, but we've still got 14 minutes left, don't forget. So AMH already pulling out 7/10 lead over D-Biggs the second. Good start from him. Gary now has allowed Suddy Apex through in 3rd. Oh, he's hit the grass. Lucky to keep it now, Matt Himovic. Oh, we've got someone off the background. That's Iceman. Iceman spun it in the background. Championship over by the looks of it already at the start of this British Touring Car Chat Porsche Carrera Cup. Lost it coming into Sheen, unfortunately. Looking for the treble in championships, and unfortunately not going to happen here in this race anyway, unless something drastic happens now. But AMH clear at the moment in safety. D-Biggs in 2nd, Suddy in 3rd, Jack in 4th, Keeks 5th. Got Key coming through Drews now. Key's looking very quick in these cars. He's got it hooked up anyway. The lights are on, letting Jack know he's there. Keeks currently 7th in the championship, only 2 points behind Suddy Apex, who currently runs 3rd. And then it's Jack who's 10 points ahead. So not too bad if Jack ended up losing position. But these are all racers. They'll want to maintain every position on track that they can. Not too bad if Jack ended up losing. But what about this? Iceman, after that spin at Sheen, has dropped down behind Rebby now and is in 8th place. Not how he would have wanted this race to go now, and he's going to have to do a lot of work to get back up through the grid. We know he's quick. We would expect him to potentially end up with a top 5 maybe at best, depending on others' actions. As who's that off in front? Rebby's off in front. Oh, he's collected into the barrier. Lucky enough doesn't take Iceman out there. AMH still leading from D-Biggs as we go on to lap 3. 12 minutes remaining. Suddy now in 3rd place, but he's got Jack hounding down on him. He shook off Keeks for 5th. Manahimovic in 6th, but Iceman 7th and Rebby 8th, as we've seen go into the barrier there. KJ Argent in 9th after an incident with Keeks at Graham Hill Bend. And Gary's in 10th, so Gary's had an incident somewhere. You can see the damage on the front of his car. Just not being Gary's night now, unfortunately. Not too bad for him though, as no points scored for him in this championship anyway, so he's just having fun getting some practice in for next week. Rocket down in 11th with a lot of damage too in the 182 machine. So this Porsche field's starting to string out a little bit. GT3 cars running this league. Can be very smooth cars to drive when you have them hooked up correctly, but a little bit too much power and you can find yourself in the spin quite easily. It was interesting to note last night in the lobby settings, based on the date that the lobby was selected, a lot of the cars were pretty slippy and understeery. Like, I remember doing a bit of testing during the week in these GT3 Porsches. Great downforce and great grip around the Silverstone International Circuit, but then coming into the race, especially through the slower corners, the car just wouldn't turn. I was so surprised, but at the same time it's the same for everyone in that race last night, as Keeks runs wide and Keeks has spun it out of paddock. Gonna lose out on a top 5 to Manahimovic. That promotes Iceman to 6th on his comeback drive now. 3 seconds is the lead now AMH has over D-Biggs. Suddy's still in 3rd, but Jack 4th. But yeah, the settings in the lobby last night, are the same for everyone, so didn't make too much of a difference. The chat's gone very quiet. I hope you all can hear me. My mic is working, I think. Surprised AMH didn't get slowdowns. Put up a good bit of dirt a couple of times. Must be inch perfect. Sorry to the others, but AMH is easily the fastest on raw pace. Trying to follow him last week was illuminating, says Daniel Francis. Definitely very quick AMH. I wonder, does it get boring leading out the front? Although he should have his work come out for him in the next 2 touring car races at the Indy and GP circuit coming up live on the stream. Iceman getting close to AMH or Matahimovic, apologies now. As it stands at the moment, AMH set to take 20 points for this victory. That'll put him to 126. Iceman currently in 6th place, will only pick up 10 points. We'll put him on 110. Matahimovic only in 5th with 11, so shouldn't be any difference between the top 3 in the championship. D-Big's currently 2nd on the road, as Iceman now looking for a move on Matahimovic. Oh, he's got a good run out of Hawthorns now. Is he going to have a look at the Westfield? Up the inside on the curb. Matahimovic gives him space. Good racing from the 2. They're side by side through Dingledale. Up to Sheen. Oh, Matahimovic kicks the grass. Gonna have to pull out of that one to make sure to keep the car straight, and Iceman gets ahead. So Iceman up to 5th now is going to collect 11 points. That'll put him onto 111. Not enough for the championship, and it'll keep him in 2nd place ahead of Matahimovic. D-Biggs in 2nd. He's going to gain 17 points. Oh, as Matahimovic has gone off on the grass there as we're looking at the championship sheet. Off a clock curve, and he's going to be vulnerable to Keegs now, who's got a good run coming up the paddock. Rocket has disconnected from the session as well, so we're down to 10 drivers. Nine drivers in fact now, as another one is disconnected. That looks like Rebby is gone as well. As I said, D-Biggs will pick up 17 points in this race currently. We'll put him on to 100. Won't be enough to catch Matahimovic for 3rd place. So as it stands, top 4 in the championship won't change. Would expect AMH to pick up fastest lap points as well, so he will get a maximum of 37 points tonight, all going well. Apologies, 22 points. I'm thinking of the last championship for the 3rd week in a row, so I've been pretty dominant since starting the streams of the Class A. The only battle on track at the moment is these two. AMH currently first, 3.5 seconds clear D-Biggs. Good showing from D-Biggs in this race. Nice quiet, kept out of trouble. So you can see the tyre marks there from Keegs' incident at paddock. Sonny in 3rd, on for his 3rd podium of the night, with Jack in 4th. Can't close up. Iceman in 5th now, after getting past Matahimovic on a recovery drive after the incident at Sheen. Keegs in 6th. Oh, and he's got past Matahimovic. So Matahimovic has had an incident as soon as we switched off. Looks like he went off a paddock potentially, and he's down to 8th now, unfortunately, behind Gary. Will that shake up the championship at all? 8th place in this race will score Matahimovic 8 points, so he'd go on to 102 points. D-Biggs will still be on 100, so no, will still be 2 points ahead of D-Biggs at the end of this race, and he looks like he's going to have a move on Gary soon as well. as they come through Westfield into Dingledale now. Oh, Gary runs a little bit wide, kicking up a bit of dust there. Manahimovich with the lights on now, letting Gary know he's there. He wants to get past. You can see AMH and D-Biggs just going through 30s there on the overhead camera. Oh, Manahimovich runs deep and he's spun in it. Druids just pushing too hard to get past Gary. Because that's been caused by you texting in the comments there, Matt. Gary doesn't score points. Indeed he doesn't, so it doesn't matter anyway, you're still going to be in third. Shouldn't be texting and driving, as we've said before, although it's probably your wife, so hello to her if she's joined in on the stream. 8th place for Manahimovich. So is this man dominant in this championship so far? 5 seconds is the gap now over D-Biggs in second, and so the Apex in third. Has shook off Jack over the last few laps now, as we've got a pretty much qualifying session going on here at the moment in the British Touring Car chat. Porsche Carrera Cup GB, as you can see from the track map, pretty stretched out at the moment. It'll be a great time to take any questions in the chat if anyone has them. Not too many battles to commentate on. Anyone any queries or about championships or the league or how to get involved or anything, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions. Iceman picks up a track limits penalty. Currently 6 seconds ahead of Keegs in 6th. Shouldn't hamper him too much. Unfortunate now about his spin out of Sheen's there at the start of the race. Although would he have had the pace to keep up with AMH anyway? We don't really know, but with the pressure on AMH's shoulders, could he have cracked it all? We're not too sure. Definitely the man to beat in the THR Racing League. We've got 1 minute and 50 seconds left. More than likely this will be the penultimate lap. Daniel Francis asks, what is the viscosity of racing oil at temperature of 300 degrees Kelvin? I have no clue. Science wasn't my strong point, Daniel. Mark Phelan says, hardest car to drive in the series and which one would you get rid of if you could? At the start of the series, Mark, I would have said the Ginetta's was the hardest, the Ginetta Supercup. As the season's gone on, I've seemed to have struggled more in the Porsches myself, particularly at Snetterton. I had 2 spins mid-race just by myself. They're both pretty tricky on their day. If I had to get rid of one of them, I'd probably get rid of the Porsches. As we've seen in a lot of the classes, the cars get pretty strung out, and I believe the Porsches are too quick for a lot of the tracks. For example, Oulton Park, definitely Brands GP or Brands Indy circuit, the first round, second round of the championship. Even last night at Silverstone International in the B class, they're just a bit too fast for the track, I think. Michael Matthews in chat says get rid of the Clios, or it might be the hardest car drive. Any talk of a Class C if the numbers are there, says Phil Nail. definitely, if there was numbers for a Class C, I think we could do it. At the moment, I don't know how it would be possible, because as you can see, there's only 9 currently racing, 10 tonight in this class. So bringing up a lot of the more dedicated Class B drivers into this will fill this one up, and then there'll be a few spaces in the Class B to fill. So I don't think there'll be numbers for a C class. Now, if more people join, then definitely, I'm sure, why not? There's enough admins to be able to run a league for another class, definitely. Michael Matthews, Peaceful Explosion, says, I love the GT4s. As AMH takes the victory there while we were answering the questions, congratulations to you, AMH. Championship winner for the British Touring Car Chat Porsche Carrera Cup. Second place is going to be D-Biggs. Congratulations to you, D-Biggs, on your podium. Suddy with his 3rd podium in the night, flashed the lights. Well done, Suddy. And Jack comes home in 4th. Iceman, unfortunate for him, couldn't put up to AMH, couldn't come home in 5th. Gary, after an incident, going to come home in 6th place. Well done, Gary. Good showing again tonight. With Keeks in 7th. Manhimovic, after a few spins, going to come home in 8th. Couldn't do anything to put any pressure on Iceman for the championship. And KJ Arjun will round out the grid in 9th place. I can't believe only 9 are in this, says Michael Matthews. Definitely, I think it's a shame. There'll be a lot more closer racing with a full grid. Okay, so what would you add, says Daniel Franson? I'd love single seater Formula C or Formula Renault. In terms of Formula C, Daniel, I think they're just not consistent enough, as KJ Arjun goes for a bit of a donut there on the start finish straight to celebrate the end of the championship, as he's going to reverse over the line. We'll let it slide this time after his drive-through penalty for no reason. For Formula C, Daniel, in my opinion, from when I drove them previously, they just don't handle very well, in my opinion. Formula Rookie would be a very interesting one. Quite slow cars, like similar to Formula 4, as you said. Quite slow cars. They'd be similar to racing the Ginetta Juniors that we race. They would definitely be a good addition, maybe. Although I feel like with the Ginetta Junior Championship and the Formula Rookie, 2 slow cars would be a little bit boring, but there'd still be good racing. So definitely I'd like to see maybe an addition of a new class. A single seater would be good. Can you get Formula Ford on this, says Michael Matthews? That would be Formula Rookie is pretty much Formula Ford. Michael, never driven anything else, so couldn't answer that, says Neil J. Well done, AMHD Biggs and Suddy again. Yeah, boy. Matt Dahimovic, think I'm still so happy about winning GT5. The rest of the night is going poor. And just to round up there, AMH takes the victory from D-Big 2nd and Suddy 3rd. Well done to all you guys. Well done to AMH taking his first championship in the Class A. As we move on to the British Touring Car BTCC Blueprints Touring Car Championship. A reminder, 2 races tonight in this one, from the Indy circuit first and then the GP circuit second. KJ Argent in chat, I'm just unlucky, taken out lap 1, caught up, involved in another incident. Now while we're waiting for this lobby to start, I think I might open up a quick Excel sheet, because we're going to have 2 championship races here for this championship. So I want to have the points updated come the end of this race, so I can give you all the action going into the final round. Bit of quick maths, as they call it. It's definitely, although it's been quite a poor turnout from the drivers with only 9 or 10, it's definitely been an exciting evening to commentate on with the title fights. There's certainly be great commentary for Matthew Duffin next week as well, with a lot of titles still up for shout in Class B. Craig Deacon. Nice to hear from you, Deeks, from Class B. At least they didn't have any back markers in the last lap like last night. Definitely, Deeks. I believe I was behind you when you ran into the back of swim fins there at the end. I don't think it would have made a big difference anyway, because I believe you had a time penalty, so still would have got second anyway. Matthew Duffin. Ben, as always, great job tonight, and as always, best of luck next week. Thanks a million, Matt. From doing a bit of quick calcs myself, I think I've only got the Carrera Cup really is my only chance of maybe getting close to the championship, but it'll be very hard. We're doing the GP circuit first according to THR, and then the Indy second. Brilliant. So I may be a little quieter in this qualifying session. I'm just going to get the championship points up on an Excel sheet for you guys, so we can have it updated for the final race. So now, as we join back with 6 minutes to go in this qualifying session, it is Iceman on pole with a 130.3 in the BMW, 3/10 ahead of AMH. We've seen these two battle it out all season in this touring car class. Jack in third in the Astra, with D-Biggs fourth, Suddy Apex fifth in the Merc. Matt Himovic has opted for the Astra we see this time. We've seen him running the BMW throughout the season, mixing it up this time. KJ Argent in the Merc in 7th, Rebby in the BMW in 8th, Keegs in the BMW 9th, and Gary, as we've seen going off there at the start of the session on the Brabham Straight, in the BMW without a time being set yet. So just a quick roundup of the championship points going into this round. There's this man, Iceman, leading the championship by 6 points to AMH Racing in second. Matahimovic, third place, 35 points behind. Still not over yet. There's a maximum of 44 points to be scored between the two races, so still possible for Matahimovic. However, you need Iceman and AMH to have a stinker, so it really is between the top two for the championship. Just 6 points between them, with 2 races to go, as we mentioned, on the GP circuit, and then finally the Indy circuit to round off after an error in the server at the second round of the championship. So Iceman continues to lead, as we see him there just running behind Matahimovic. Can AMH do anything? Don't forget, extra point for qualifying on pole and also for fastest lap in the race on offer here. Could really make a difference to the championship come the end. AMH bit of locking up there. Has been the quicker of the two drivers on the last 2 streams that we've seen. AMH taking the victory both in Snetterton and Silverstone, so I'd be looking for a hat-trick of victories here that could hopefully give them the championship lead going into the final round. Does he improve on his time? He does indeed. Improves and goes onto pole by 0.06 of a second. Provisionally will bring him 1 point closer to AMH going into the race. Jack currently on third. Gary goes 5th, so good time from Gary in the BMW. Matahimovic still in 6th in the Astra, with Suddy 7th, Keegs 8th, Rebby 9th, KJ Argent back in 10th. Let's have a look at the comments here. Mark Phelan says, Ben and Matt teammates for next season, hashtag bromance. Potentially we'll have to wait and see, Mark, depending if the teammates go ahead. Matthew Duffin, Ben, this backmarker stuff doesn't go away, does it? No, it certainly doesn't. Hopefully there won't be too many backmarkers next season in Class 8. NJ Matt, I think it may be a little early for it to go away. Hope next week they will learn to move out of the way and not hit front runners who are racing for the championship. And Daniel Francis says he's still open to bribes on that, Neil J. As Jack pulls off onto the grass there, coming out of Westfield. So what are our predictions for this one? Back off AMH. Oh, just as we say it, AMH goes faster again. Just 0.02 of a second between these two. What do we think, everyone? Who's going to take the victory? We've got 2 races up tonight, so I'll just take the predictions for this race to start with. So Gary's in the pits, has given up, can't improve anymore with a pretty damaged eye back BMW there. D-Big's good showing from him now in the 3rd place in the Pirelli machine. Jack in 4th in the Astra. Matahimovic getting some nice curb there through Sheen in 6th place in the Astra as well. Suddy Apex has gone to the pits in the Merc. Also in the pits is Keegs. Rebby in 9th with KJ Argent in 10th. So it's looked like Rocket has disconnected from this session. No participation from him. Daniel Francis has got a feeling about Jack. Currently sitting 4th in the standings, 1.3 seconds off the BMWs of AMH, Iceman and D-Biggs. Mark Phelan says AMH Iceman to take each other out on the last lap, with Matahimovich coming through to win. We're qualifying over now. Checker flag is out. Who have we got close to completing their laps? KJ Argent's finished, so he'll start 10th. So Iceman's going to be the first one to put a marker down. Can he improve on his time? Currently 4 tenths off AMH. Oh, and he's given up on his time, so he's into the pits. AMH first on the road, so is he going to try to put in a quicker lap just in case D-Biggs could trouble him? Oh, he's gone wide onto grass. Surely they'll see him go to the pits as well. Indeed it does. Matahimovich, what can he do? 3rd place in the standings. Gary's back in stock cars looking at that car, says Craig Deacon. So we know Gary a renowned stock car racer in real life, taken to the touring cars and sim racing. Matahimovich crossed the line, no improvement from him. Rebby, final man on track. D-Biggs looks to have entered the pits. Any improvement? No improvement for Rebby that time, so he remains 9th. So AMH takes the point for pole position. Iceman in 2nd on the front row of the grid, so this should be an incredible race between them. D-Biggs and Jack on the 2nd row, with Gary Matahimovich on the 3rd, Suddy in 7th, Keegs 8th, Rebby 9th and KJ Argent in 10th. So 1 point for AMH already going into this race. Leaves just 5 points between them in favour of Iceman now, as we line up on the grid for the second penultimate round of the BTCC Blueprints Touring Car Championship. The red lights are on, the revs are high, and we're racing. And it's, look, great start from Gary there. He's already got past Jack, and he's up the inside of D-Biggs too. So AMH has the lead up from Iceman. Gary's up to 3rd now, side by side with D-Biggs, it looks like. And it looks like we have had an incident in the background. Who's that off? It looks like Rebby, Matahimovich and Suddy have had an incident there. Through paddock, as now what we've seen for the whole season, AMH and Iceman bumper to bumper. Coming through 30s for the first time. Gary made a great start up to 3rd there now. Oh, as Jack has tagged D-Biggs, and D-Biggs has spun. Just caught the end of that instant now, as Jack's on the grass. Looks like he's slowing down, has to give back the position for contact, I would assume. KJ Argent up to 5th, so good running from him from the back of the grid. As out front the 3 Beamers starting to pull away. AMH, Iceman and Gary. Gary said he's been struggling to keep with these 2 up front. They're incredibly quick. Let's see if he can keep up this time, as these 2 are going to battle all race long. Keegs in 4th and KJ Arden 5th, as we mentioned. Matahimovich in 6th, Rebby 7th, Jack down to 8th after that incident with D-Biggs. Suddy's in 9th. As we can see, D-Biggs there with a bit of damage on his car. As we come on to the Brabham Straight to complete lap 1, AMH leading from Iceman, keeping to the middle of the track into paddock. Iceman looking for the move, as they're going to go side by side now. Just doesn't get up alongside of AMH now into Graham Hill Bend. already pulling clear, and it looks like someone's gone off in the background. Is that Matahimovic in the gravel? It is indeed. He's beached in the gravel there by the looks of it, and that could be the end of his championship hopes in third place. Only 2 points ahead of D Biggs and 4 points ahead of Jack at the moment, so he'll want to get going and try to pick up as much points as he can to keep that third place. And he's gone to the pits. Matahimovic has retired from this race. I presume for a retirement it will mean 0 points for Matahimovic. He would have got 6 for 10th place. Now, if someone maybe could confirm that in the chat for me, I presume he'll get 0 for retiring. AMH still up at front ahead of Iceman. Gary's in third with a big gap back to Keegs in fourth. Jack fifth, making his way back up after an incident with D Biggs. D Biggs won't be happy about that. Could there be a Stewards inquiry at the end of this race? They've got Suddy Apex in between them at the moment. He was involved in an incident at paddock in the first lap too, with Rebby 8th. Akajan Arjun has dropped down to the 9th now, unfortunately, after a great start up to 5th. Just slipped back a little bit. Did I say Jack? I meant AMH for the win, says Daniel Francis with a winky face. BMWs are too dominant here. BMW seems to be the way to go at every track at the moment, Daniel. These guys certainly know how to race them properly. I don't know about you, but I do struggle with them a little bit in the Class B. One guy that doesn't struggle with them though is Gary. Been very dominant in the Touring Car Championship in Class B, leading it going into the final round next week. Will be the one to beat. Keegs lonely race in fourth there in the X-Pacific BMW. Jack in the Jancon Mobile Astra pulling away now, but he's got D Biggs up to 6 past Sully there. He's going to be chasing him down, looking for revenge. As up front, Iceman still all over the back of AMH. Will he settle for second? He needs to get ahead of AMH to start scoring points. Apologies, AMH is happy where he is. He needs to catch up on Iceman. The way it'll stand, AMH will gain 3 points on Iceman if it stays like this. I mean, there'll only be 2 points between them. Potentially only be 1 point between them going into the final round, depending on who gets the fastest lap in this race. I'll try my best to keep up with the championship points. Obviously only provisional until all results are classified by the admin of the league. As looks like D Biggs is getting onto the back of Jack now. This could be very interesting after that incident. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Up front it's still AMH from Iceman. AMH getting a lot of grass there. That could potentially be a slowdown. Jack and D Biggs, the other battle on track at the moment, as they've just got just under 9 minutes to go in this race. Quite strung out on track. Hopefully the Indy circuit will bunch the drivers back up. Iceman has a look down the inside. AMH squeezes the gap, and they're still going to be side by side to Graham Hill Bend, so he hasn't got it to work so far. AMH, a little door rub. So Iceman's starting to put the pressure on now. As you can probably notice, under the timing screen, you can sometimes you can pop up in a bit of white letters, Iceman for example, and a little microphone. That means he's talking to the lobby chat. You can see there just to the left, could potentially be talking to AMH about certain incidents. Sometimes the mic can just pick up interference from the gear paddles or anything, so he might not be saying anything at all, but very interesting if we could hear what the drivers were saying. Meanwhile, D-Biggs has got past Jack fairly safely, and now they're on the back of Keegs already, so we've got a 3-car battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Looks like a pretty clean move from D-Biggs. I'm sure Jack didn't fight it too hard after that incident on the first lap. Up front still the same, no changes so far. Have a look in the chat. Matahimovic, tell you what, my luck after race 1, now my controller disconnects. That's unfortunate for you, Matahimovic. Hopefully we can get it back for the final race of the season. Daniel Francis, I tested at Silverstone all week, just couldn't get enough consistency to drop the Astra. I raced the Megane in another series the other day and that suited me perfectly, so big shame. The Megane is ridiculously overpowered. I even pulled the back wheel out. I even pulled the wheel back out, sorry. Michael Matthews, AMH making this BMW very wide here. Great to watch between these two. Definitely is. And he'll be happy with this now, AMH. He's going to close in points wise. It depends who has the fastest lap. Iceman might pick up the fastest lap based on the slipstream effect. It's hard to tell at this moment. The race feed on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, I think that's inaccurate. I think that fastest lap is in relation to qualifying, but I could be wrong. Meanwhile, as we go away from this for a minute, it looks like Keegs has dropped down to 8, so potentially an incident with D-Biggs and Jack. So D-Biggs is up to 4th, Jack still trying to keep on to him. D-Biggs looking pretty quick now. Suddy Apex in 6th with a time penalty. Rebby 7th, as we mentioned. Keegs 8 and KJ Argent back in 10th. Gary in 3rd, as we know. Very quiet race from him. He's currently 5 seconds ahead of D-Biggs, 10 seconds behind these two, who are just pulling away from the rest of the field at a different class. It's cracking racing, says Daniel Francis. Indeed it is, Daniel. Mark Phelan, AMH, what a front runner. Definitely, Mark. Not going too defensive, and it's not compromising his line too much at the moment, so he's still able to keep up the pace. As you can see, there's great mutual respect between these two drivers, as we've seen throughout the season in this class. They're able to race side by side. They know each other very well at this stage now, and it has given us great racing throughout this season. Very little incidents between two. Only one I can note, which was in Snetterton, which was resolved pretty easily on the track anyway, so it didn't make a huge difference. Hopefully we'll be in for a big finale between these two, both at the end of this race and the next race. A couple of back markers have hindered their progress and split them up a little bit, as Iceman has reeled in AMH again. A little 2/10 of a gap there, has pulled it back as he goes wide now into paddock. He's going to look for a good run. He's going to try to switch back. Oh, he's gone up the inside. Iceman has sold AMH to dummy there and takes the lead on lap 8. A great move there, as AMH is going to have anything though. He's going to have a look back the inside. Oh, they almost touch, and they're going to be side by side coming down Graham Hill Bend now. Oh, AMH backs out of it to look for a better run. Oh, he's got back up the inside, and he's going to have the inside run into Surtees. Iceman's going to look for the switchback though to get a better run down the straight. Fantastic racing from the two of these. No changes in the order behind. Still Gary 3rd, D-Biggs 4th, Jack 5th, Sully 6th, Keegs 7th, Rebby 8th, KJ Argent 9th, with Matahimovic disconnecting in 10th. We just can't take our eyes off these front runners. One little error and they could be, as Iceman gives AMH a little nudge there into Sheens. One little error from either of these could send the two of them off into the barriers. So we've got 3 minutes left now. 2 to go after this, by the looks of it. Just 15 seconds clear of Gary. That's phenomenal from these two. While battling with each other, they're still pulling away. Interesting to note as well, AMH and Iceman. Well, AMH is running no ABS, Iceman running ABS. And we can see Iceman actually has a time penalty, so he does have to be aggressive now to try and get ahead of AMH and pull away. As you can see from the red beside his number 2, he does have a time penalty. It could be 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So he'll want to get ahead of AMH very soon. Daniel Francis, it's interesting watching AMH's throttle trace, very smooth and progressive indeed. Mark Phelan, interesting to me is the big difference in relative quality time, but bumper to bumper in race conditions. The two were pretty close qualifying, but yeah, definitely once you're in the slipstream, it has a huge difference, Mark. That's allowing AMH to keep with him, and also allowing him to allowing Iceman to keep with AMH, and allowing him to put a few moves on AMH as well. So this will be the final lap of the race now. 1 minute and 15 to go. 1 minute and 30 second lap. A little lock up from AMH there. He still has the lead. Should be pretty safe now, unless Iceman makes a huge move, which he has a little lunge. Doesn't get it done though. Don't forget the time penalty for Iceman. Should see AMH taking the victory. He's pulled a little bit of a gap there to Iceman now. As we head down Pilgrim's Drop for the final time on the first race of the Touring Car Championship tonight. Don't forget the Indy Circuit race is coming up straight after. So D-Biggs in third there. Oh, so Gary's obviously had an incident. Oh, a lot of damage there from Gary. He's dropped back to third. He'll be gutted with that now. Was on for a good podium there. D-Biggs will take third place from Jack. Gary in fourth, Jack fifth. Don't forget, Gary doesn't score points in this championship. Suddy sixth with Keeg seventh, KJ Argent eighth, and Rebby ninth at the moment. But up front, the time hits 0. This will be the final lap. The lights are on for both drivers, and it's going to be this man. AMH is going to take the victory out of the Brands Hatch GP circuit. Flash the lights from him. Second place for Iceman. Well done AMH, well done Iceman. Great racing between the two of you. D-Biggs is going to come home in third by the looks of it, but Jack has now got past Gary too, so Jack's up to fourth and Gary in fifth. Gary will be gutted with that now after running for so long in third place. Probably just switched off a little bit because he was alone for so long and forced him into an error. Well done guys, third, fourth and fifth. Gary does Jack on time penalties though. Suddy Apex is going to come home in sixth. Quiet race for Suddy after that first lap incident. Keegs going to come home in seventh with KJ Argent in eighth, and Rebby will round out the grid in ninth. Don't forget Madhimovic with a wheel disconnection is going to come home in 10th as a retirement. So as we have a look at the standings, AMH takes the victory 400ths of a second quicker than Iceman, so AMH will gain another point. Maximum points scored for him on this round. D-Biggs third, Gary fourth, Jack fifth, Sully Apex sixth, Keeg seventh, KJ Argent eighth, Rebby ninth, and Madhimovic in 10th. So bear with me now everyone, I'll just do up the standings on the Excel sheet to give you a better idea. What a race from D-Biggs. Would love to see the times if you ignore the first lap. What a great race. Well done Iceman and AMH. That's how it's done. 5 minute qualifying for the Indy as is a short track, and it's 0 points for the retirements for Madhimovic. Thank you KJ Argent for the update. So bear with me now as I'll dial in these points to see how we look going into the final round of the BTCC Blueprints Touring Car Championship. So after a quick tally of the points, we can see now that Iceman leads the championship by just 1 point going into the final round at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. 116 points he has. AMH on 115 after scoring maximum points for pole position and fastest lap in the previous race, as we just seen. D Biggs promotes himself to third in the championship now on 77 points, with Matahimovic on 64 after scoring none with that retirement. So the top two is pretty much settled, but who's going to come out in first and who's going to finish second between Iceman and AMH? We've got one race left, 1 point for qualifying, 1 point for the fast lap. Could really make the difference. Let me hear your predictions in the chat. Who's going to get on pole this time on the shorter Indy circuit? Who's going to take the victory between the two, or even another driver? Can any of the other drivers make a difference on the Indy circuit? We'll have to wait and see now as we begin this qualifying session. As mentioned, a shorter 5-minute qualifying for this, as it's a shorter track. Just to reiterate, Iceman on 116 points, AMH 115, just one behind. D Biggs in third on 77, and Matahimovic on 64. Apologies there, actually, ladies and gentlemen. I just realised that Jack is now up to fourth. Matahimovic demoted to fifth in the championship. So it'd be D Biggs on 77 in third, Jack on 73, and Matahimovic on 64 in fifth place. So a much shorter qualifying this time round. As you can see, the Indy circuit, relatively short lap, in around 40 seconds, 45 seconds. And they're on track again together, as they were for the whole race, AMH and Iceman. Matahimovic opting for the BMW this time around, obviously wasn't satisfied with the Astra. See here all the other cars. So Keegs has opted for the Mercedes, Gary in the Mercedes also, Rebby in the BMW, AMH in the BMW, Suddy in the Mercedes, D Biggs BMW, Matahimovic BMW, Jack in the Astra still, Iceman in the BMW, and KJ Arden in the Mercedes. So a few changes in this one. Last round of the season, a few people maybe want to try out a few different cars. 1 point separates Iceman and AMH going into the final round. Can it get any better than this? Get the popcorn out, because it's going to be a fantastic final race of the THR Class A Racing League. As D Biggs currently is on pole with 47.6, half a second clear of Iceman. Jack in third with AMH fourth. It's a good showing from D-Biggs here on the first lap, getting a bit door to door there with one of the orange BMWs. 3 of them on this one, so it's going to be hard to see who that is now. I think it was Matahimovic, looked to be. Iceman, can he improve? He does indeed, goes fast on AMH, takes it off him with a 46.8, 2 tenths quicker. Iceman provisionally on pole for a split second, but AMH has stolen it off him now as the two of them are following each other on track here. D-Biggs in third, Jack still fourth. Any improvement? No improvement that time around with Matahimovic fifth. KJ Argent goes, so Gary's gone up to fourth, so good performance from Gary there. Just a minute and 50 left, so 2-3 laps left for some of these drivers. Sully Apex jumping all around there with a bit of lag. A little space hopper of a Mercedes in 8th. Rebby in 9th. Keeks in 10th, still yet to set a time. Andrew Taylor, this could be interesting, he says. Definitely, Andrew. Oh. It'll be interesting to see, will anyone put it up to the two guys, AMH and Iceman, or will they just let them at it to battle it out for the championship? AMH has now won 3 touring car races in a row. Will he be favoured for this one again, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think? Oh, very wide from Keegs there, as he's actually got ahead of Iceman. AMH has. So Iceman obviously looking for the slipstream effect to try and get a quicker time. Oh, he's gone very sideways there. .30 seconds left, so this will be the last lap for these two guys. Matahimovic back in the pits, doesn't feel he can do any more. How about Gary? Could he get himself onto the second row of the grid? Jack just in front of him as well. Any improvement from them? No improvement from either, so the positions stay the same onto their final lap as well. Here comes Sully Apex, just going to get another lap in. Any improvement? He doesn't need, goes up to 7th, demotes KJ Argent to 8th. Checker flag is out. Oh, the Keegs has spun it. Here, AMH and Iceman, no improvement from either of them. So AMH on provisional pole for this one. Another point for AMH, which will bring them level going into this final race. Here comes the training cars. Any improvement from any of them? Not by looks of it. So AMH is on pole, Iceman in second, 2 tenths of a second back. D-Biggs in third. Another good performance from D-Biggs. Been very consistent with his qualifying pace throughout the season. Matahimovic fourth. I'm going to have to wait to see the rest now. Gary in 5th, Jack 6th, Sully Apex 7th, Rebby 8th, KJ Argent 9th, and Keegs in 10th. So as I mentioned, AMH has picked up an extra point for pole position. That brings them both level on 116 points going into this final race. This is going to be an absolute cracker for the final round of the BTCC Blueprints British Touring Car Championship. The red lights are on, the revs are up, 3 red lights, and we're racing. It looks like a good start from AMH. Great start from Gary too. Iceman a little bit slow. 10 cars heading down to paddock. AMH with a fantastic start there, has pulled the gap already to Iceman. Just back behind, Sully Apex has tagged D-Biggs, but they're still going. That's Matahimovic has gone off into the gravel down to 8th place, and Rebby is binned it in paddock as well. So it's AMH that leads through Graham Hill Bend. Iceman will look to catch up on it. Gary, great start from him up to 3rd. D-Biggs 4th, Jack 5th. Looks like Sully's having a bit of lag problems there. He's in 5th at the moment from Jack 6th, KJ Argent 7th. Good start from him. Matahimovic down to 8th, Keegs 9th, and Rebby 10th. But up front, AMH still leading, tied on points going into this final round. Fastest lap is going to play a crucial part. Currently that goes to Iceman. If people, maybe someone wants to keep an eye on the fastest laps in the comments, could let us know. Oh, as Iceman tags AMH, a little bump there into Druids. as we've got someone who's out in the background, that's Rebby, just recovering from that spin on the first lap. So AMH leading through Clark Kerr from Iceman in second, Gary's third, D-Big's fourth, Suddy fifth. Good start from Suddy. He's got Jack now all over the back of him as they come down the start finish straight. Iceman still with the fastest lap at the moment. Oh, Suddy's gone very wide there. He's in the gravel. I don't know if that's lag or what's happened there. Meanwhile, up the front, it's yet again AMH and Iceman pulling away from the rest of the field. Iceman very patient behind AMH on all these races so far. 20 points for the winner, 17 for second. So it's going to be whoever finishes in front on track is going to win the championship. Fastest lap for Iceman won't be enough if he finishes second. As he's having a look at AMH now as they come down to Cooper Straight. Just can't get close enough yet. AMH, a very comfortable driver out front when under pressure. Gary's still back in third, D-Biggs fourth. Jack has got past Sully as we've seen, with Matt Himage up to sixth. KJR in ninth, or eighth, apologies, Keegs ninth, and Reddy back in 10th. But this is where the battle is, battle for championship. Currently going to go AMH's way. If it stays like this, Gary abandons the BMW, says Mark in chat. Indeed, obviously just trying something for next week, as he's let D-Biggs by for third. Oh, and Iceman's got up the inside AMH. This could be a championship winning move. Iceman has got in front of AMH. I've lost count of the fastest lap, so I don't know who. I think it's Iceman has the fastest lap at the moment. £20. It'll be 21 points for Iceman. We'll bring him up to 136. 137, apologies. As AMH going around the outside of Cooper Straight, not going to work there. AMH will be on 133. So there will be 4 points between them if it stays like this, depending on fastest lap though. As they're side by side, as Iceman clears the Monster Energy board, and that's allowed AMH to go through. But is Iceman going to have the inside into Druids? They're going to be side by side. Good racing from the two of them. Basically, the way it'll work out is fast laps don't matter, says Daniel Francis. I don't think so, Daniel. At the moment, AMH has that 1 point for pole position. As it stands at the moment, he'll be on 133 points. Iceman will be on 136, and with the fastest lap could be on 137. So even if AMH had the fastest lap, he'd only be on 134. It won't be enough. If they happen to switch position now, AMH will be on 136, and Iceman on 133, potentially 134 with the fastest lap. So it won't matter about fastest lap, it's whoever finishes first on the road is going to win this championship, which makes it a lot easier for our calculations. Meanwhile, in the background, Gary's had a moment. He's down to 6th. Manhimovic and Jack both up past him. We can't take our eyes off this as AMH is going around the outside at Cooper Straight. He's got the grass there. That could be potentially be a slowdown as they're on the brakes. They're side by side through Clark Curve. AMH takes the lead, and takes the lead in the championship as well. What a fantastic race this is. We've got 7 minutes 45 seconds left. On to lap 10. What a thrilling battle this will be to the end. Iceman looking for his 3rd championship win of the night in Class A. AMH looking to gain his 2nd championship after winning the British Touring Car Chap Porsche Carrera Cup. Flash the lights from AMH to, who's that, Keegs in the background. Is he go? Oh, Keegs has spun it. Oh, and AMH has hit him. He's gone onto the grass. He manages to keep him front, but Iceman's going to have a run. Oh, he's nudged him. Iceman slowed down. That's respectful from Iceman. Backmarker got in the way there. Almost disaster from AMH. Very respectful racing from Iceman, not overtaking him on the inside there, Clark Curve, as Keegs just lost it coming into the last corner. Almost took AMH out. I'm sure his heart was on his mouth there. That was extremely close. But still we race into Druid. 6 minutes 40 seconds left. Lap 11. AMH leading on track, leading in the championship if it stays like this. Oh, and Iceman's gone off. Iceman's run onto the track, and that's allowed AMH a bit of breathing space. Is he going to be able to catch that up? Didn't see what happened there. If we can just look back on the stream. But now AMH has a gap. Just checking back the stream there to see what happened. This allowed D Beaks to close in on the two of them as well, with all the battling. Can't see what happened there anyway between the two. Great sportsmanship. If it cost the title, it's better than what if Iceman taking advantage. Massive respect to Iceman indeed. These two have been battling side by side the entire championship, so they're both winners if you want to get cringy about it. So that'll bring, it'll be 20 points. It was 115 points going into this race. 1 point for pole position for AMH brings him to 116. 20 points for this victory, if all goes well, will bring him to 136 points. Iceman on 116 will get 17 points for the victory, or for second place, apologies. That'll bring him on to 133. Depending on fastest lap, could be 134, but it won't affect the championship at the moment. Once again, it looks like we're not going to be in for the final race that we wanted. It's been a great half a race between these two. Is that AMH slowing down, or no, it's someone in front? Is that Keegs getting out of the way this time again? Meanwhile, a little bit back through the pack. D Biggs in third with Jack fourth. Matahimovic fifth, as we mentioned. Gary had a moment, is down in sixth. He's got Suddy Apex on his bumper now for seventh. The Suddy Apex crew have gone very quiet in the chat, haven't heard from them in a while. Rebby's in ninth with Keegs in 10th. Keegs in the chat, by the way, this isn't me driving, it's my dad. Well, your dad almost cost AMH a shot at the championship by the looks of it, Keegs. But lucky enough, hasn't made a difference. 2.5 minutes left to go. Pretty strong outfield. Suddy and Gary pretty close on track. Good mates these two, as actually Suddy, I thought it was a bit of a glitch there from Suddy's car. He's all over the place. These two pretty close. Good mates. Do a lot of testing together on track. Suddy with the lights on, just letting him know he's coming up to him. Iceman has a time penalty as well, so really hindering his chances now, as AMH is just running clear with this. Don't let dads drive, is that right, Ben? Says Mark Phelan. Get yourself a wheel and a PlayStation, Mark, and we'll get you in the league and give you some coaching tips. A minute and a half to go. We're on to lap 18 here. 2 seconds is the gap between AMH and Iceman. D Biggs back in third. Another quiet race from him. Jack in fourth. Matahimovic fifth. Gary sixth, still with Suddy in seventh. KJ Argent in 10th, has Rebby on the back of him now after that incident on the first lap in 9th, and Keegs, or Keegs' dad, in 10th position. AMH now is going to be closing up to the battle between KJ Argent and Rebby. Maybe it won't close up in time. He's got 44 seconds left. So this is the penultimate lap. We'll be going on to the final lap of this Class A Championship for the 2020 season. Well, first season of 2020 anyway. AMH leads them on to the final lap through paddock up to Druids. It's going to be 4 races in a row in this touring car class for this man. An absolutely fantastic second half to the season has allowed him to catapult past Iceman on the final race of the championship. Just won the British touring car chap Porsche Carrera Cup in the previous race. He's on an extreme high. He's coming through Clark Curve now to take a second championship of the night. After a fantastic season battling with Iceman, it's AMH Racing with the flash of lights. It's going to take the British BTCC Blueprints British Touring Car Championship for 2020, the first one of 2020. Massive congratulations to you, AMH. Iceman in second. Fantastic result coming in second as well, Iceman. Fantastic racing all year. We can't fault either of you. You're both champions. Iceman with 2 championships, AMH with 2 championships in this Class A, so nothing to split them. D Biggs comes home in third. Well done to you. Jack fourth. Matahimovic fifth. Gary sixth. Suddy in seventh. KJ Argent eighth. Rebby ninth. And Keegs in 10th. So a little round up then of tonight's action. As we see, Iceman actually got the fastest lap too. But it's AMH that takes the championship from Iceman in second. D-Biggs in third, another quiet race from him, but very consistent results throughout the season. Well done to you, D-Biggs, rounding out the podium to finish off. Jack in fourth, Matahimovic fifth, Gary sixth after a few spins, Suddy in seventh, KJ Argent eighth, Rebby in ninth, and Keegs in 10th. Well, what a fantastic race that was. Fantastic 2 touring car races we had there. A quick roundup of the whole night. Congratulations to all our winners, all our championship winners. Matahimovic taking the Prestige Men Ginetta Junior Championship. It was then Iceman taking the Tin Top Racing UK Renault Clio Cup Championship, and he'll receive a trophy and a cap from Tin Top Racing UK for that one. Iceman already took the victory in the hard compound Ginetta GT4 Supercup before coming into this round at Brands Hatch, so congratulations Iceman on your second championship. And it was then AMH who joined in the lobby to take the victory in the BTCC, British Touring Car Chat Porsche Carrera Cup GB. Congratulations Iceman on your first championship, and then your second championship here in the BTCC Blueprints Touring Car Championship. So 2 championships for AMH and Iceman apiece, and 1 for Matahimovic to round off the night. What a fantastic night we've had of action, and we look forward to next Wednesday night where we have the final round of the Class B Championship. Of course I'll be racing that alongside everyone else. We've still got a lot of championships to fight out for in that class, so we'd be delighted to have you all join the stream on Twitch where Matthew Duffin will be commentating. And then concluding both championships, we will have a shootout at Knockhill between the top 6 from Class A and the top 6 from Class B, both to be decided yet by the admins who they are, but it should be a very exciting race. Knockhill is an extremely tight track, lots of bumps, lots of high curbs, so it will be incredible racing. No points on offer, real hard racing between the best from both classes. Once again, it's been an absolute honour to commentate for you on the stream. Fantastic racing we've had, and I'd like to thank everyone for joining in this season. It's been a pleasure interacting with you guys in the comments. A lot of familiar faces every week. We'll just have a quick look at the chat before we go. Well done AMH and Iceman, says Matahimovic. Sad it's over. Great racing by all. AMH is a beast, but Iceman more than keeps him honest, says Daniel Francis. Andy Stevens, who is Iceman, congratulations to AMH, fully deserved. Had 4 great battles, lost them all, but the best races I've been involved in. Daniel Francis, thanks for the commentary as ever, Ben. I appreciate the comments, Daniel, thank you very much, and thanks for joining in. Great night, top job Ben, great coverage again, says Matthew. Thanks very much Matthew, look forward to hearing your commentary next week. Should be a great finale to Class B. Great commentary again Ben, thank you for your comments Phil. Bring on Wednesday indeed Matthew. Well done Ben, congratulations on the commentary. Thank you very much Andrew, look forward to racing with you next Wednesday. And that's it for the Class A Championship. We will be continuing in 2 or 3 weeks time with the second championship of the season. Will Iceman and AMH continue their battle up the front? Will Matahimovic be able to close in on a few more championship titles? Will any of the newcomers to the class, the likes of Gary, Tyler House, myself for example, NJ, whoever goes up to Class A, will they be able to push these guys for their championship titles? We'll have to wait and see. And will some of the Class A guys that go down to Class B mix it up with the Class B guys? We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be an exciting next season for sure, and I can't wait to be involved in it, and I hope to see you all there. Once again, thank you all for watching, and I wish you all to stay safe. Stay tuned next Wednesday for the finale of Class A, and then we'll have a super shootout between top 6 of Class A and top 6 of Class B further on that week at Knockhill. My name is Ben Phelan, thank you for listening, and good night.